Chapter 1566. At this moment, World Head Star Mansion, Mountain River Pearl Space. What is this place? The slave girls left Feet Base and followed Xiaoping back to World Head Star Mansion. Then they suddenly appeared in a strange space world. They felt very uneasy. This is the world you will live in the future. You have to stay here and help manage the medicine fields, spirit grains, and so on. Be my coolies, Xiaoping said with a serious face. He said the reason he brought the 50 slave girls to this space. While the Green Bull could manage the Mountain River Pearl Space alone, there were still some details he could not manage. For example, taking care of the medicine fields, making pills, and so on still needed manpower. So he caught these slave girls and gave them to the Green Bull to manage. They would be the managers here. In fact, this was the best choice for this group of slave girls, because some of their families were broken up, some of their races were extinct on their planets, some were too far away and could not return, and they were very weak. If they did not have Xiaoping's protection, once they left this place, they would probably be caught by others and become slaves. Their fates would probably be many times worse than now. Manage the medicine fields, spirit grains? You want us to be farmers, not maids? I heard we have to sleep with them. A rabbit ear girl blinked her large eyes. Really? Do you want to sleep with them, and have been thirsty for a long time? Xiaoping was expressionless. He went up and rubbed her rabbit ears. They were very soft. Ah! The rabbit girl screamed, her face red. Her white face was almost cooked. To the rabbit ear race, the ears were undoubtedly the most sensitive place. Bad guy, let go of the rabbit ear sister. An angel girl jumped out and stared angrily at Xiaoping. Xiaoping touched his chin and looked the angel girl up and down. You are from the angel race? So strange, are these real wings? The feathers feel good. He reached out and touched the wings on her back. They felt very soft and contained holy power. They were formed from energy and gave off a special wave that made people feel at ease. Legend had it that the angel race all had holy light power that could heal people's hearts. Now it looked like it was true. Moreover, they liked to appear on various primitive planets to perform miracles. Therefore, their legends were spread on various major planets, and people mistook them as a race of gods. However, putting aside the legends, the angel race itself was also an incredibly powerful race. They occupied an important position in the Western universe, and they could rival the demon race, diamond race, azura race, and other races. You rude person. The angel girl's pretty face instantly turned red like a monkey's butt. She flapped her wings and suddenly jumped far away from Xiaoping's side. It seemed as if she was looking at a super demon. The wings of the angel race were incomparably sacred. How could they be touched so easily? This was undoubtedly touching the most important part of their body. It was no different from sexual intercourse. Don't bully Sister Angel. At this moment, a girl of about 11 or 12 years old angrily ran over. She was about 1.5 meters tall. She kicked Xiaoping, trying to stop him. However, her strength was too weak. To Xiaoping, it was like a mosquito bite, unable to move her at all. Instead, she fell to the ground in a sorry state. He's bald. Could it be that you're from the Luohan race? I heard that the men of the Luohan race are basically bald donkeys, and the women are all nuns. None of them have long hair. I didn't expect it to be true. Xiaoping looked at the cute bald girl curiously. He reached out and touched her little head, feeling that it was very textured. This was the first time he had seen a bald girl. What are you doing? The Luohan girl's pretty face turned red. She was extremely shy. No one had touched her head like this before. She bared her fangs and brandished her claws, trying to resist. However, Xiaoping held her head down with one hand. She could only use her small hands and arms to dance around in the air, unable to attack Xiaoping. This situation infuriated her even more. Xiaoping continued to study this group of slave girls. They seemed to be from various major races of the Western universe, and there were many rare ones. However, he soon lost interest. Green Ox, I'll leave the rest to you. Teach them well. Xiaoping waved his hand. Whoosh! Immediately, the green ox appeared in front of Xiaoping and said respectfully, Yes, master. Leave it to me. He was also very satisfied with the slaves that Xiaoping had captured. After all, the space of the mountain and river pearl was constantly expanding. Although he was the artifact spirit of the mountain and river pearl, there were some areas that were beyond his power. In fact, even when the mountain and river saint was alive, many loyal servants would appear in the space of the mountain and river pearl to help take care of the spirit herbs, spirit grains, and so on. Come with me. This will be your place to live in the future, the green ox said to the 50 slave girls. Then he brought the group of people away. Seeing that this group of people had left his field of vision, Xiaoping no longer paid them any attention. He turned to look at the girl from the Taotai race, Tan Menglu, who was rolling around in a field of crystal rice. She let out happy and satisfied cries, like a little pig. Oh my God, isn't this crystal rice? How can there be so much? So much food grows here. This is heaven. This is definitely the heaven of the legends. Originally, the lowly Tan Menglu from the Taotai race had entered the space of the mountain and river pearl. She was still curious about what this place was. But soon, she abandoned this idea, because she suddenly saw a lot of crystal fragrant rice growing here, and the rich aroma of food pervaded the air. She felt as if she had come to heaven. She cheered and instantly pounced on a pile of rice. She wanted to sleep in the pile of rice every day. Every day, she would be able to stuff herself with rice the moment she opened her eyes. Just thinking about such a life made her feel extremely happy. Looks like the cultivation of crystal rice has been done well. Xiaoping also saw the surrounding fields. They were lush and green, and he was very satisfied with the green ox's work. After this period of cultivation by the green ox, in addition to the large amount of underworld soil obtained from the previous secret realm, the amount of 9 heaven-growing soil had increased tremendously. It had almost grown exponentially. The cultivation of crystal rice had already reached 10 million square kilometers. It had grown 3 times as much as before, and it was still expanding. Just this area alone had surpassed the land area of China in his previous life. Chapter 1567. Yummy, such delicious food. Tan Menglu was very excited and kept eating the fragrant crystal rice. Every grain contained abundant energy. She also knew how precious the fragrant crystal rice was. It would only appear on the dining tables of the rich and powerful families. Ordinary restaurants would not sell it, and it was very expensive. Now there was so much fragrant crystal rice, and she could eat it freely. Even in her dreams, she had never had such a beautiful dream. It was as if she had come to heaven. She ate this meal for 2 hours, and ate 10 tons of fragrant crystal rice. Her stomach was bloated, and she lay on the ground like a balloon motionless. So full, Tan Menglu had a blissful expression on her face. Ever since she was young, she had never experienced what it meant to be full. This was the first time she had experienced what it meant to be full. Although the stomach of a Taotai was said to be a bottomless pit, it actually had a limit. However, Tan Menglu was only a child now, so her stomach had not reached the limit of the Taotai race. She could continue to grow, and then she could truly devour stars. Only 10 tons? That's okay. Xiaoping instantly heaved a sigh of relief. If Tan Menglu ate 10 tons of fragrant crystal rice a day, that would be 300 tons a month, and 3,600 tons a year. This was a drop in the ocean compared to the current production of fragrant crystal rice. Even if Tan Menglu could continue to grow, and her appetite would continue to grow, the cultivation of fragrant crystal rice would also continue to expand, and there was no need to worry that it could not keep up with Tan Menglu's appetite. He also knew why the Taotai race was so fearsome that even a saint-level family could not afford to raise them. After all, which family could afford to eat 10 tons of fragrant crystal rice a day? If there were people in the universe who could afford to raise a Taotai, it would probably be an alchemy grandmaster like the mountain river sage, who was good at growing spirit grains and spirit herbs, and had a small world as a backing. Otherwise, ordinary people would definitely be eaten by a Taotai. Suddenly, Xiaoping felt a huge and pure energy coming from the depths of the void. He immediately knew that it was coming from Tan Menglu. Their contract formed a void passage, and this pure energy was transmitted from this void tunnel, seeping into his limbs and bones. The spiritual power in his body increased at a visible rate, and the seawater in his purple mansion space rose rapidly, almost filling this empty space. Is this the energy that the Taotai clan refined? Xiaoping's eyes revealed a trace of bright light. After he signed the contract with the Taotai clan, not only would he be able to obtain the bloodline ability of the Taotai clan, if the Taotai clan was able to devour energy, they would even transfer a portion of the overflowing energy to him to assist him in his cultivation. Moreover, after this energy was refined by the Taotai, all of the impurities were cleanly removed, and only the source energy was left. There were no side effects, and the benefits were endless. It could greatly increase the rate at which one's magic power increased, just like consuming a 10,000-year-old elixir. Crash. After a short while, Xiaoping felt that the magic power in his body had almost been raised to the limit. He immediately knew that he had advanced to the peak of the early-stage Golden Core realm. He was merely a step away from breaking through to the intermediate stage of the Golden Core realm. He could touch the bottleneck of the mid-stage Golden Core realm. However, because the energy required to advance to the intermediate stage of the Golden Core realm was too enormous, merely this little bit of energy was insufficient to help him advance to the intermediate stage of the Golden Core realm. Presently, he was still in the process of accumulating energy. I didn't expect there to be such benefits. Xiaoping touched his chin. With the Taotai by his side, it was equivalent to him having an additional cultivation tool that could speed up his cultivation. The Taotai could help him refine various kinds of energy and improve his magic power, which saved him a lot of time to condense his magic power. The problem was that such a method of advancement was not something that anyone could use. Only those who were rich enough, and who could squander money everywhere could do it. This was simply a method of advancement for the rich. It was too extravagant. Probably even if someone knew of such a cultivation method, they would not dare to use it. It was simply unimaginable to raise a Taotai and let it eat its fill every day. In the past 10 days, Xiaoping had been immersed in cultivation, slowly refining the energy, improving his magic power, and accumulating the energy to break through to the intermediate stage of the Golden Core realm. He did not pay attention to what was happening in the outside world. However, this behavior made the Macklin family and the others very anxious, because they had designed a trap for Xiaoping in the outside world. Now this kid did not come out and was holed up in the mansion. What's going on? That kid hasn't come out of the mansion yet? Yeah, he has been staying in the mansion for more than 10 days, and I have not seen him take a step out. Previously, he was so arrogant to deal with the Fett family. I thought he would continue to deal with other forces, but I didn't expect him to not do anything. Could it be that he thinks that destroying a branch of the Fett family can deter us? No, we can't continue like this. Now that the senior cadres of the Red Scarf Thieves have arrived at the World Head Star, their time is limited, and there are many tasks that they need to do. They can't stay in this place for a long time. Without the help of the senior cadres of the Red Scarf Thieves, we probably can't kill him. I think it's better to kill our way into the mansion and kill him directly. Why wait here? Idiot, if we could do it, we would have done it long ago. This mansion is the base of the Qingquan sect, and it is surrounded by restrictive formations. It is the enemy's lair. If we go in, wouldn't we be walking into a trap? Don't underestimate the traps set by a Golden Core Master. Indeed, once we alert the enemy, although that Yang Butong isn't our match, it is still possible for him to escape. If we can't kill him, it is the same as poking the hornet's nest. That's right, so we must kill him in one strike, and not give him a chance to live. Everyone discussed with ugly expressions. They didn't expect such an accident to happen. Oh right, since he doesn't want to come out, why don't we find a chance to lure him out? Someone suggested. I heard that he recently raised a Taotai clan female servant, and their relationship is not bad. If that female servant leaves the mansion and something happens outside, I don't believe that he will continue to stay in the mansion and not come out. Not bad, this idea is not bad. But how do we lure that female servant out? This is simple, that is a Taotai clan female servant. We can just give her some food, and she will leave. There is no need to go through so much trouble. Leave it to Duan Qingrui. He is very familiar with this, There shouldn't be any big problems. And that Yang Budong will be dead soon. He still dares to show off in the world head star. He is simply courting death. Chapter 1568. Are they finally getting impatient? In the quiet room, Xiaoping suddenly opened his eyes. Through the system, he sensed the murderous intent of the Metlin family and the others towards him, as well as the plan of this group of people against him. Since they want to find a place to ambush me, then I'll help them. Xiaoping narrowed his eyes. This group of people wanted to ambush him. But how could he not want to find a chance to catch all the elites of this group of underworld families in one fell swoop? If all the perfected Jindan of this group of underworld families were destroyed, it was estimated that no force in the entire world head star would be able to compete with him. They could only bow down to him. Moreover, this group of people ambushing him gave him an excuse to deal with the Medlin family and the others. Menglu. Thinking of this, Xiaoping grabbed Tan Menglu, who was staying in the space of the Pearl of Mountain and River, out. She was now eating rice in big mouthfuls, and her cheeks were almost full. She looked at Xiaoping angrily. Scoundrel, what are you doing? I'm eating. Eating every day, you're almost becoming a pig, Xiaoping said. Tan Menglu said disdainfully, I'm a Taodai. I have a body that won't get fat no matter how much I eat. You're good, but soon you'll have a chance to have a big meal. Later, someone will invite you to leave the mansion for a meal. Don't refuse, just say yes, Xiaoping said. Hearing this, Tan Menglu was very excited. There's actually a kind person who wants to invite me to a meal? Which idiot is it? No, it should be a philanthropist. She had never encountered such a thing in her life. She had never dared to invite a Taotai to a meal. To be honest, even a meal was enough to make an ordinary rich person go bankrupt. Now there was actually a fool who wanted to invite her to a meal. It was simply incredible. The other party will appear soon. Just wait. Xiaoping smiled slightly. Sure enough, the next day, Tan Menglu was playing around in the mansion, and soon Duan Chengrui came in sneakily. He pretended to take Tan Menglu out to enjoy the food of the world head star, hoping that the two sides could have a good relationship. Hearing this, Tan Menglu's eyes immediately lit up. She immediately thought of Xiaoping's words, and agreed to Duan Chengrui's invitation without hesitation. If someone invited her to dinner, she would be a fool not to go. Although eating the crystal fragrant rice could fill her stomach now, she still had to eat some other food from time to time. She was from the great Taotai clan. Not only did she have a huge appetite, she was also a gourmet. She was very picky when it came to food. When they arrived at a restaurant, Tan Menglu blinked and looked at Duan Chengrui. Are you really going to treat me to a meal, no matter what? Yes, feel free to eat. Duan Chengrui was very generous. After all, he was not eating with his own money, so there was no need to be generous at other people's expense. Waiter, give me 100 steaks, 100 steamed buns, 100 pizzas, 100 hamburgers. That's all for now. Let's order some appetizers first. Tan Menglu immediately ordered 100 servings of each item on the menu. Duan Chengrui was dumbfounded. So many dishes were just appetizers. Oh my god, if this was the main course, how much could this little lowly eat? In the dark, the right clan members had a lingering fear. They had raised this little lowly for a period of time, but in the end, they suffered heavy losses. Several years of food had been eaten up, and the clan had almost gone bankrupt. An hour later, the surrounding bowls and plates had piled up like a small mountain. The restaurant's chef had cramped up and collapsed on the ground. All the ingredients had been consumed, and it was time to close the restaurant early. This restaurant is not bad. I can come here often in the future. Tan Menglu rubbed her stomach. She was very satisfied. After eating so much, she could be considered to be 30% full. Most importantly, she had eaten 3 tons of crystal fragrant rice before coming to the restaurant. At this moment, a group of people surrounded them fiercely. Little girl, may I ask if you can pay the bill now? The restaurant owner said with a fake smile. Tan Menglu waved her hand. Don't worry, there is someone here who can pay the bill. Hey, where did that wretched uncle go? When did he disappear? Could it be that I ate too much, and he was afraid that he couldn't pay, so he ran away? She looked around, but she couldn't find any trace of Duan Chunrui. She didn't know when he had quietly left. Little girl, what is the meaning of this? No one is paying. Don't tell me you want to dine and dash? The restaurant owner's expression was unfriendly. Hearing this, Tan Menglu felt very guilty. Don't worry, I am very rich. No, my master is very rich. I will give him a call later, and he will definitely pay for me. If there is nothing else, I will go back and inform him. Her movements were very practiced. It was obvious that she was used to eating and dashing. She wanted to lift her feet and run away. Little girl, you should come with me to the police station. If there is anything, wait for your master to come. A group of people surrounded them. Someone immediately called the police, saying that someone was eating and dashing. Just like that, Tan Menglu was caught and brought to the police station. Very soon, someone came to inform Xia Ping of this matter, saying that his slave had eaten and dashed at the restaurant and wanted to leave without paying. He had been arrested and brought to the police station for interrogation. What do you mean? There is a police station on this planet? Xia Ping asked. Indeed there is. The man was very embarrassed. Although this planet was controlled by the major underworld families, there were also their own formal administrative agencies responsible for managing and maintaining the security environment of this planet. Forget it. Take me to see what is going on. They even dare to arrest my people. Are those policemen tired of living? Don't they know that she is my people? Xia Ping was very aggressive and angry. He lifted his feet and walked to the police station. Some of the people who were monitoring around were very excited. Finally, this kid left the mansion. This time, the plan had succeeded. It was foolproof, and they were just waiting for this kid to step into the trap. 10 minutes later, Xia Ping stepped into the police station and immediately saw Tan Menglu sitting on a chair. There were dozens of policemen around her watching and waiting. Mr. Yang. Many policemen also immediately recognized Xia Ping's identity, and they were all very nervous. After all, the other party was an absolute big shot on this world leader planet. If it wasn't because of the pressure from the Medlin family and others, they were not willing to provoke the other party. What the hell is going on? Why did you arrest my people? Xia Ping looked at the crowd with an unfriendly expression. Because this lady just ate and didn't pay, and she wanted to leave. She wants to eat and dash. The police chief felt great pressure, and cold sweat appeared on his forehead. Bah! Chapter 1569. Hearing this, the policemen were so angry that they wanted to vomit blood. If one couldn't be arrested for eating and dashing, then what other crime could they not be arrested for? Once this was done, no one would pay for their meals in the restaurant. This guy still had the cheek to talk about the law with them. They were clearly the biggest source of lawlessness. They had never seen such a shameless person. What an arrogant and despotic bastard. He was even more despicable than these gangsters. Even some rich second generations and playboys couldn't compare to this bastard. He was so unreasonable. The group of people who were secretly observing were also dumbfounded. Sorry, Sir Yang. Although the policemen cursed in their hearts, they didn't dare to offend him. Those who dared to offend him were all killed by this heaven and earth sect direct disciple. The blood of Feet family and Cook gang proved how savage this guy was. If they dared to say anything back, they probably wouldn't be able to see the sun tomorrow. Sorry, is your apology meant for me to hear? You can't even find out who should be apologizing. So how can I count on you to catch thieves and maintain law and order? What did you waste the taxpayers' money on? Do you even have the ability to distinguish right from wrong? Xia Ping shouted. Damn, this bastard was asking for a yard after giving him an inch. The policemen were so angry that they felt like they were suffocating. This was clearly a slap to their faces in front of everyone. But they could only bear with it and didn't dare to say anything. Sorry, Miss Tan. The policemen lowered their heads and apologized to Tan Menglu. Tan Menglu had a weird expression. This was the first time she had encountered such a thing. She was the one who ate and dashed, but a bunch of policemen apologized to her. This was really rare. It's okay, there won't be a next time. I will forgive all of you this time. Tan Menglu said generously. She rolled her eyes and wondered if she should go down and eat and dash again. Anyway, no one dared to take her money. Is there anything else? Xia Ping asked. No, nothing. This case is over, Sir Yang can leave. The chief quickly said, wanting to send this plague away. It's good that you are fine. Next time, don't find such small things to trouble me. Do you know that I am a busy person? Xiaoping nodded and brought Tan Menglu out of the police station. Why is there no one around? Tan Menglu found it very strange. She realized that there was not a single person on the bustling streets. It was empty, and there were pieces of white paper floating on the ground. There's no one in broad daylight. It seems like the world head star is finished. There's no one doing business. Xiaoping said carelessly. Whoosh. As soon as he finished speaking, figures flew out from the surrounding buildings, each of them giving off an aura that could shake the heavens and earth. As they walked over, it was as if the heavens and earth were shaking and stars were falling from the sky. Leading them was the patriarch of the Medlin clan, Blunt, and the leaders of the other 6 mafia families. All of them were Golden Core realm cultivators. Apart from the patriarchs of the underworld families, there were 6 or 7 unfamiliar Golden Cores. They had the aura of a mountain of corpses and a sea of blood that was almost tangible. They were surrounded by vengeful spirits, and it was unknown how many innocent people they had killed. The strength of these people was even more terrifying than Blunt and the others, as if they were man-killer fiends. Patriarch of the Medlin clan Blunt, why did you bring so many people here? Are you here to welcome me? Xiaoping stood with his hands behind his back, looking indifferently at the group of uninvited guests. Yang Budong, don't play dumb here. You killed so many brothers of my Feet clan. Today is the day you die. The patriarch of the Feet clan jumped out and cursed. His eyes were filled with hatred. He could not live under the same sky as Xiaoping. That's right, Yang Budong. You have been tyrannical on the world head star, and committed all sorts of crimes, causing the people to be angry. Today you will die without a doubt. No one can save you. Don't even think about escaping. The inescapable snare formation has long been set up to seal the sky and lock the earth. It covers 1,000 miles. With your strength, it is absolutely impossible to escape from the range of this formation. Even if you are a direct disciple of the Heaven and Earth sect, you won't be able to escape death today. You still want to come to my Heaven and Earth star to show off? What a joke. We will let you see the strength of this universe. The world head star is definitely not a place where a small direct disciple like you can do whatever you want. Many of the leaders of the underworld clenched their teeth, their eyes filled with cruelty. They looked at Xiaoping, as if they were looking at a dead man, their killing intent surging. In order to kill this strong enemy, they had endured for a long time. Now they finally found the chance. So that's how it is. The reason why you did so many things, so many plans, was to set up a trap to kill me? You guys are really daring. Xiaoping stood with his hands behind his back, looking indifferently at this group of people. That's right. After all, you are a direct disciple of the Heaven and Earth sect. Even if you are only at the beginning stage of the Golden Core realm, you have endless means and countless treasures. I feel that it will be extremely difficult to kill you, so I set up this trap. Blunt looked at Xiaoping curiously. But since you know that you have fallen into a trap, why don't you escape? Maybe you still have a chance to live. We might not be able to kill you. He felt that this kid in front of him was too calm. He didn't look like someone who had fallen into a trap and was on the verge of death. Escape! Hearing this, Xiaoping instantly laughed. You guys are the true frogs at the bottom of the well. You have stayed in the world head star for too long and don't know the true terror of this universe. You think that you can kill me with numbers, formations, and traps? What a joke. You guys don't know what a true expert is. The number of people doesn't mean anything to me. You guys want to surround and kill me, but how can I not want to kill all of you in one fell swoop? I can use this chance to kill all of you, the cancer of the world head star. Once and for all, it will save me time. He looked down at this group of people like he was looking at a bunch of ants. As expected of a direct disciple of the Heaven and Earth sect. Even at such a time, you are still so confident. But how long can you maintain this confidence for? Blunt laughed coldly. He was a shrewd person, and wouldn't be affected by a few words from Xiaoping. He felt that Xiaoping would definitely die this time. No matter how he struggled, he would die. Stupid people, you guys don't know how weak you are. Feel your helplessness, die in fear and fall into hell. With a loud boom, Xiaoping took a step forward and punched out. Instantly, the heavens and earth trembled. Stars fell from the sky, tearing apart the void. Everything within a radius of 1,000 miles trembled. The entire planet seemed to be shaking. Everyone present could feel how terrifying this punch was. It was like it contained the power of a star, able to destroy heaven and earth. Set up the formation. Immediately set up the formation. Chapter 1570. In an instant, under Blunt's shout, the surrounding martial artists acted swiftly, activating the killing formations that were laid out one after another. The name of the killing formation was 7 Layers of 7 Kills Formation. Rumble, one after another, the formations appeared and stacked on top of each other. It was as though an infinite amount of killing intent had gathered together, containing a terrifying killing intent that absorbed the malevolent aura within a radius of tens of thousands of kilometers. The moment the 7 Layers of 7 Kills formation was formed, wisps of killing intent burst out like a terrifying sword chi that descended and destroyed tens of thousands of stars. Dai Yang Budong. Blunt and the rest looked ferocious and murderous. They circulated their dermic powers and activated the formation to attack. This was the trump card that they had been preparing for many days. 7 Layers of 7 Kills formation. Once the formation was successfully set up, it could absorb endless killing intent and crush them layer by layer. Even a golden core perfected being would be crushed into powder. Even if a golden core perfected being wanted to self-destruct his golden core, he would be quickly killed by the killing intent of the formation. Wave after wave of killing intent permeated the air, enough to shatter any supernatural power. Even the golden cores who set up the formation were extremely fearful of the formation. If they dared to enter the core of the formation, they would be instantly killed by the killing intent and die a tragic death. Not only did you gather more than 10 golden cores to kill me, you even set up a killing formation. You guys are really as timid as mice. But do you think that you can kill me just like that? How naive. Xiaoping sneered and punched out. Taotai supernatural power, devour. Boom. In the next second, a huge Taotai appeared in the void. It opened its mouth and a cloud of black mist spread out, turning into a huge black hole that produced a terrifying vortex that devoured the heaven and earth. With the black hole as the center, it contained an extremely frightening devouring power. Suddenly, the wind and clouds surged and the heaven and earth essence chi, within a radius of thousands of kilometers, was absorbed, causing a phenomenon of collapse as it compressed towards the center. Wave after wave of killing intent in the void was rapidly devoured by the black hole and turned into ashes. The endless killing intent turned into nothingness and could do nothing to Xiaoping. Bang bang bang. The originally incomparably sturdy grand formation. But under this kind of devouring twisting energy, the surroundings actually began to emit crackling sounds. The foundation of the formation was collapsing, inch by inch. Even the surrounding ground was shattered. Cracks appeared, extending for dozens of kilometers. The surrounding high-rise buildings were quickly shaken to the point of collapse, turning into rubble. Fortunately, this place had already been cleared by the Macklin family and the others. Otherwise, there would have been countless casualties. Impossible. This is a 7-layered 7 slaughtering formation that contains the killing intent of the world. How could it be destroyed with just a single strike? What kind of divine power is this? Because the foundation of the formation had collapsed, a group of cultivators controlling the formation immediately suffered a backlash. They were shaken so much that they coughed up blood. They looked at the scene in front of them in disbelief. Originally, this was a fatal killing formation that could instantly kill this Qianquan sect's direct inheritor, leaving him with no path of escape. He didn't expect that it would collapse right after it started. Especially the patriarch of the Macklin family, Blunt. His foolproof arrangement had actually failed. He had a bad feeling in his heart. He felt that things might not be progressing as smoothly as he had imagined. Devouring divine power. This is definitely the devouring divine power of the Taotai clan. Someone shouted. He recognized this was the famous divine power of the Taotai clan. which could devour all natural substances. Damn it! Isn't this a martial divine power that only the Taotai clan can master? Why does this kid know it? The people of the Feet clan also recognized it. After all, they had adopted a Taotai previously. They also went online to search about the bloodline divine power of the Taotai clan, and knew how terrifying this divine power was. If it was cultivated to an extremely high realm, it was estimated that this planet would be devoured by the black hole and turned into nothingness. It's said that if one can form a contract with the Taotai clan, he can obtain their devouring divine power. I reckon that this Yang Bubian has formed a slave contract with that Taotai girl. You must be joking. Is that kid crazy? He actually dares to form a contract with the Taotai. Isn't he afraid that the Taotai will eat him poor? Even if he has money, he can't waste it like this. Someone scolded and felt that this kid was a madman. Forming a contract with the Taotai was the same as ruining his future. Even a Saint clan wouldn't dare to adopt a Taotai. After all, the resources that a Taotai needed were countless times that of a normal person. This was an unimaginable amount of resources. Just the money needed to raise a Taotai was enough to drag down a normal person. They wouldn't even have the chance to obtain any cultivation resources. If that was the case, how could they advance and increase their magic power? Of course, even so, it wasn't easy to form a contract with the Taotai clan. If the Taotai clan didn't acknowledge the other party wholeheartedly, they wouldn't form a contract with the Taotai clan. Even if they used force, it wouldn't work. No matter if he is an idiot or not, no matter how he dies in the future, now that he has grasped this devouring divine power, his combat strength has increased by more than 10 times. He won't die so easily. Damn it, why did such an accident happen? I told you that this is a direct disciple of the Heaven and Earth sect. He isn't so easy to kill. Everyone was shocked. If they knew that Xia Ping's combat strength was so terrifying, and he even learned the devouring divine power, they definitely wouldn't have attacked so easily. But since they already attacked, they couldn't turn back time. They couldn't even compromise and surrender. Right now, they could only fight to the death. You speak too much nonsense. Die. Xia Ping took a step forward and punched the air again. This kind of aura was like a divine elephant lying dormant in his body. Every breath he took was like a divine elephant breathing, swallowing the power of heaven and earth. Faintly, the image of a god elephant seemed to appear behind his back. It was indomitable and incomparably majestic. So strong. Everyone was shocked and their hearts trembled. It was like they saw an ancient god ramming into Buzhou Mountain. This was a simple punch, but it contained boundless power. With his body as the center, a terrifying force spread out in all directions. The air condensed into a substance like waves. Extremely pure power was usually the most terrifying. It didn't have any impurities and contained absolute destructive power. A series of super explosions occurred in the air. A golden core couldn't dodge in time, and was hit by this punch. All the defensive spiritual weapons on him were useless, and the strong force seeped into his organs. Bang! In the next second, his entire body exploded into pieces, leaving only a golden core spinning in midair, giving off a mysterious aura. Chapter 1571. Damn it, we can't let this kid continue doing whatever he wants. Red Scarf Thieves, what are you waiting for? Kill him now. Kill him quickly. Are you waiting for us to die before you make a move? Blunt was scared out of his wits when he saw a golden core being killed. Although he was a peak golden core realm cultivator, he was powerless against the divine elephant's punch. If he was that golden core realm cultivator, he would have been blown to smithereens. If they allowed this kid to continue doing whatever he wanted, his aura would continue to rise, and he would become one with heaven and earth. By then, all of them would be killed by him. I didn't expect that we would have to make a move. I thought we just needed to watch the show. You gangsters are just too weak. Even after setting up such a trap, you still can't kill your opponent. You're really useless. No wonder you can only live in a corner. Fine, let's make a move. We can't let this Qingkuan sect disciple continue flaunting his prowess. After all, this world head star is our trading planet. We can't let others encroach on it. One by one, the cadres of the Red Scarf Thieves stood up. There were a total of 7 of them. They were all Golden Core Realm cultivators, at least in the intermediate stage. 3 of them were peak Golden Core Realm cultivators. They had knife scars on their faces and looked extremely ferocious. Blunt and the group of Golden Core Realm cultivators couldn't be compared to them. They had fought in mountains of corpses and seas of blood, and had rich combat experience. The difference between the two was like the difference between a pack of wolves and a flock of sheep. Clang! In an instant, the 7 senior cadres of the Red Scarf Thieves made a move. They pulled out long swords from their bodies. Under the sunlight, the swords emitted a frightening cold light. 7 Wonders heart-locking sword formation. They naturally split into 7 directions. Their feet stepped on the 7 stars, and they were distributed in 7 corners. They held long swords in their hands. Sword chi emanated from their bodies, resonating with each other, and forming a sword formation. Boom! At this moment, a super sword formation appeared under Xia Ping's feet. Sword chi as thick as an arm spread out from the depths of the void. They were like chains of order, traversing the void and piercing through eternity. Ha! Xia Ping narrowed his eyes. The moment this 7 arcane heart-locking sword formation appeared, chains formed from sword chi burst forth, sealing the area within a radius of tens of miles. There were chains everywhere, sealing everything. Within the large range of this sword formation, it would be difficult to move an inch. If one was the slightest bit careless, they would be killed by the exploding sword chi, easily slicing through various parts of their bodies. Even his skin could feel the sharpness of the sword chi as it vibrated at high speed. If he got a little closer, his skin, muscles, and bones would feel as if they were about to be sliced into pieces. He could not get close. What a powerful sword formation! The surrounding members of the underworld family were all shocked. They could feel how terrifying this 7 ingenious heart-locking sword formation was. In terms of the ability to seal the enemy, it was probably several times more powerful than the 7 layers of the 7 killing formation. Staying in this formation, there was simply nowhere to escape. One could only close their eyes and wait for death. Well done! Seal his movements. I'll kill him. Upon seeing this, Blunt was incomparably excited. Taking advantage of the moment when Xia Ping was temporarily unable to move, he immediately made his move. In an instant, a terrifying magical power at the peak of the Golden Elixir realm erupted, causing terrifying ripples in the surrounding air. Martial Path Magical Power. 7 breaks, 7 absolutes, heart-wrenching palm. This was an extremely terrifying martial path magical power. 7 breaks referred to the breaking of heart vessels, blood vessels, tendons, liver and intestines, kidneys, bones, and wrists. 7 absolutes referred to the severing of heart, severing of emotion, severing of gratitude, severing of desire, severing of pain, severing of life, and severing of yearning. Once struck by this palm technique, one's internal organs would immediately be destroyed, and the entire body would be turned into a paste. It even specialized in attacking the soul, harming the essence of the soul. Being struck by it would mean certain death. Moreover, when one died, his face would be distorted as if he was laughing. However, such a smile was even more unsightly than crying. It was incomparably bizarre, as if he had seen a ghost. This was also the peerless ultimate technique that Blunt had relied on to become famous for. As the palm smashed down, black winds blew and ghostly wails could be heard. The palm print contained a bizarre dark force that could devour everything. The surrounding people felt the surrounding air distort, producing many illusions. Indistinctly, dark ghosts appeared and devoured souls. Blunt, I'm here to help you. Yang Buping, you've killed many members of my right clan. Today, I'll avenge them. You'll regret it in hell. The right clan leader also made his move, taking advantage of Xia Ping's weakness. Knowing that Xia Ping was in the most dangerous moment, as someone who had a deep grudge against this brat, how could he not add insult to injury? Martial Path Magical Power. 7 Poison Finger. This was a martial path magical power he had traded with the Myriad Poison clan. It was extremely powerful and poisonous. Once hit, the enemy would immediately die from the poison, dying without a complete corpse. In the Southern Universe, there was an extremely rare species of poisonous snake known as the seven poison snake. Its body contained 7 different kinds of strange poisons, yet they were mixed together harmoniously. This kind of poison was extremely terrifying. Even a savage beast with strong vitality would immediately die after being bitten by it. Its blood would coagulate, and it would die from the poison. And the 7 poison finger was cultivated by using the bile, venom, and blood of the 7 poison snake, as well as various rare spirit herbs. During this process, one had to endure great pain, and only those with great willpower could successfully cultivate it. After the patriarch of the right family successfully cultivated this martial arts mystique, he became invincible. Even martial artists stronger than him would die from the poison if they were hit by a finger of his. Not many people dared to fight him to the death. Xiao xiao xiao. In an instant 7 poisonous gases appeared in the air. They were red, yellow, blue, green, cyan, indigo and purple, representing 7 different kinds of poisons. They emitted a strange glow. These 7 rays of light sealed off all directions of Xiaoping, forming a large formation that crushed over. The surrounding people were all shocked and retreated several kilometers, afraid that they would die if they came into contact with these poisonous gases. After all, if they weren't rescued in time, they would also die. Even the Feet clan leader couldn't do anything. This brat is dead for sure. The group of people were extremely excited. Their eyes revealed a cruel glint. The 7 high-ranking officers of the Red Scarf Bandits made their move and arranged a sword formation to seal off this brat's movements. Coupled with the right clan leader's poison magical power and Blunt's 7 break 7 despair palm. Even if this brat was a true disciple of the Qiankuan sect and had many tricks up his sleeves, he wouldn't be able to escape death today. Even if a returning Truth Realm expert appeared in this place, he would have to retreat and not dare to face it head-on. You have some ability, but that's all you can do. Break for me. Xiaoping's eyes revealed a trace of coldness. He circulated the pure yang immortal secret art. The blood in his body boiled like magma, and runes flowed in the depths of his blood. A terrifying flame energy gushed out from the depths of his dantian and condensed in the air. A gigantic ancient furnace appeared in front of him. Chapter 1572. What's that? The surrounding gangsters couldn't help but widen their eyes. To their astonishment, they saw a huge furnace appear in front of Xiaoping. It was dark gold in color, and its surface was engraved with dense ancient inscriptions. Vaguely, there seemed to be countless ancient gods and devils living in the depths of the furnace. They emitted an aura of eternity, chaos, nobility and so on, capable of destroying everything. As soon as the Hellfire Crucible appeared, it immediately erupted with terrifying energy waves. The heavens shook, the earth trembled, and the stars shone brightly, creating many hellish illusions. Nether Ghost, Bear Devil, 6-armed Lion Devil, 3-eyed Bear Devil, Giant Serpent, Blazing Devil, Venomous Ancient Devil, and other demons appeared as well. They let out earth-shattering roars, and their demonic energy billowed into the sky. It was as if a demonic realm had descended. Boom! In an instant, the surrounding sword chi was obliterated by the Hellfire Crucible. All of the sword chi was shaken into a frenzy, and even the 7 Wonders Heartlock sword formation was torn apart on the spot. Bang! 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 The 7 Red Scarf Thieves were caught off guard. They were also sent flying by this tyrannical force. The flying swords in their hands were shaken out of their hands, and their lungs suffered severe injuries. It was as if they had been shaken thousands of times. A huge crater was formed in the ground. Everything within a 10-mile radius was razed to the ground. All the tall buildings were reduced to rubble and broken walls. The previous police station had long since been reduced to ashes, no longer existing. Pfft! The high-ranking Red Scarf Thieves couldn't help but spit out a mouthful of blood. Due to the collapse of the formation, they also suffered a terrifying backlash. Their faces were filled with terror. They didn't expect the 7 Wonders Heartlock sword formation. They were so proud of to be broken by someone. Moreover, it was broken by brute force. They couldn't resist at all. Dong dong. At this time, Blunt's and the Patriarch's attacks arrived almost at the same time, bombarding the Hellfire Crucible in front of Xiaoping. Immediately, The two forces were devoured by the hellfire crucible, like stones falling into the sea. They only caused a ripple before vanishing without a trace. Oh no! The patriarch's expression changed drastically. He was terrified to the extreme. In order to kill Xiaoping, he had used almost all of his strength. He was also the closest to Xiaoping. He wanted to reap the kid's head as soon as possible. Never could he have imagined that his attack would be completely useless against the brat. The hellfire crucible devoured all of the toxins, transforming them into ash. In this way, he had fallen into a state of certain death. Bang! Xiaoping didn't even look at the patriarch. He simply waved his hand, causing the hellfire crucible to descend from the sky. The air around it collapsed as it slammed into the patriarch of the Fett clan. Ah! He screamed. And before he could even react, the hellfire crucible swallowed him whole. The flames of the hellfire crucible roared to life, reaching temperatures of hundreds of thousands of degrees. Even mica steel would be reduced to ash. Not to mention the fact that the leader of the Fett clan was merely a human, with a body of flesh and blood. In the next second, his body was burned into a pile of ash, leaving behind only a bean-sized golden core that shone brightly. Patriarch! The members of the Fett clan couldn't help but scream. Their patriarch had been killed in a single move, without even being able to fight back. They couldn't believe their eyes. Now it's your turn. Xiaoping wasn't going to give his enemies any chance to escape. He slammed his palm out toward Blunt, a martial Dao divine ability, Yin-Yang tombstone breaking hand. As the palm slammed down, the surrounding energy and sword chi were all shaken into nothingness. It was as if wherever the palm went, everything there would be transformed into the most fundamental yin and yang power, refining everything. It was like the hand of a god, representing the 5 elements, yin-yang, and the true essence of life and death. It represented the true essence of the universe, as if it were a minor world of its own. Any power in the face of this powerful yin-yang attack was like nothing more than nothingness. Damn it. Blunt's expression was unsightly to behold. He could sense how terrifying the palm was, and knew that it would be a fool's dream if he thought he could block it with his own strength. He used several escape techniques, a total of dozens of them, turning into streams of light, as if he was trying to evade the palm strike. But no matter how he tried to escape, the giant palm seemed to be able to capture his vital energy and lock onto him. No matter how he changed, it was able to track him down. It possessed the power of breaking illusions. He knew that there was no way to escape. Only by clashing head-on would he have a chance of survival. Shield of mountains and rivers, Blunt shouted. He actually took out a small shield from his body. This was the middle-grade defensive spiritual weapon, Shield of mountains and rivers. He spat out a mouthful of fresh blood, which contained most of his vital energy. The pure and majestic energy instantly surged into the small shield, burning fiercely. The small shield was engraved with towering mountains and rivers, as well as rivers of long swords. It was incomparably majestic, with a terrifying aura and billowing sound waves. The moment the fresh blood sprayed onto it, the entire small shield seemed to be filled with majestic energy. It suddenly came to life, and emitted a terrifying blood chi. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. Layer after layer of energy shields immediately appeared on the surface of the small shield. There were a total of 49 layers. These energy shields were like mountains and rivers, materializing in this world. They stood in front of Blunt, and fought for a chance of survival for him. Boom! Just at this moment, the giant palm came crashing down like the hand of God. It contained the aura of life and death. It was also like a meteor crashing onto the ground. God knew how many energy shields were destroyed, the vital energy disintegrated, and the earth collapsed. The 49 layers of energy shields were completely unable to withstand this palm. Layer after layer of energy shields collapsed. Mountain after mountain was shattered, and river after river was completely evaporated. It was as though the entire world was being destroyed by this palm. The terrifying magic power even seeped through the small shield into Blunt's internal organs, and into his limbs and bones. The terrifying destructive power reverberated back and forth, causing thousands of damage. No, no, no! Blunt let out a blood-curdling scream like a pig being slaughtered. His body was shattered like glass after being hit by this palm. Densely packed cracks appeared on his body like a spiderweb. With a boom, his body exploded into pieces. What was left in the air was a spinning gold core and a shattered shield. At this moment, the shield had already lost all its brilliance. It was obvious that the restrictive formation inside had been obliterated, and its spirituality had been completely destroyed. Chapter 1573. Oh no! The 7 high-ranking cadres of the Red Scarf Bandits, and the remaining 3 or 4 Golden Core Realm Underworld clan leaders, were trembling from head to toe, especially after witnessing Xiaoping's ferocity in killing Blunt and the others with just a few punches. This kind of fear spread all over their bodies as they felt the signs of the arrival of the god of death. Originally, they came to kill Yang Budong, but who would have thought that not only did they fail to do so, but they also lost several Golden Core Realm cultivators. It's your turn. After killing Blunt with one punch, Xiaoping had no intention of stopping. His figure flickered like a kuanpeng. The wings on his back were constantly flapping, leaving afterimages in the air. His speed was so fast that no one present could react in time. He aimed at one of the high-ranking cadres of the Red Scarf Thieves and smashed his fist down. The stars trembled and the air within a radius of 10 miles collapsed, forming a terrifying vortex as if the sky was falling and the earth was splitting. Boom! That high-ranking cadre of the Red Scarf Thieves let out a blood-curdling scream. His chest was immediately penetrated by the fist, and his entire body exploded into pieces, turning into a mass of meat paste, leaving only a golden core spinning in the air. Damn it, you dared to kill a high-ranking cadre of the Red Scarf Thieves. Do you know that you're making an enemy out of us? Even if you're a true disciple of the Qingquan sect, you won't be able to escape death for killing one of our men. No one can save you. The remaining 6 high-ranking cadres of the Red Scarf Thieves were so shocked that their eyes were about to pop out. Seeing one of their companions killed with one punch and unable to even self-destruct his golden core, they were enraged to the extreme, as if a volcano had erupted in their hearts. They let out angry roars. No one can save me? Who do you think you are? Just a group of interstellar pirates, stray dogs that have been chased everywhere. After killing you, what can the Red Scarf Thieves do to me? With a swoosh, Xiaoping dived down and punched again. It was as if a divine elephant had come out of the mountain, shaking the hell with its godly might and terrifying majesty. A high-ranking cadre of the Red Scarf Thieves tried to resist, and even took out a shield in an attempt to block Xiaoping's attack. However, such actions were useless. In just one strike, the shield was penetrated by the fist and turned into countless fragments. Even the fist force landed on his chest, causing his entire body to explode. In just a few breaths, 2 golden cores had died completely. No, I can't continue to fight him to the death. I have to escape. Break up the hole into parts. Every single one that escapes counts. Yang Budong, you won't have a good ending. When we escape, you will be greeted by the army of Red Scarf Bandits. Our leader will definitely avenge us. Seeing that Xiaoping had killed the Golden Core Perfected ones as easily as killing dogs, the remaining Golden Core Perfected ones no longer had the mentality to fight against Xiaoping. They just wanted to quickly escape from this dangerous place and frantically escape from Xiaoping's pursuit. They hated Xiaoping to the extreme, so much so that they almost bit their lips until they bled. One by one, they fled in all directions, using the fastest speed they could muster in their lives. Is that so? Do you think you can escape from me? In my eyes, your speed is no different from that of a snail. Even if you run for 5 kilometers, I'll still be able to catch up and kill you. Xiaoping circulated the golden crow of hell bloodline in his body, and a pair of dark golden wings appeared. They exuded a noble and ancient aura, and were dozens of meters long. Immediately, the wings stirred the wind and clouds, gushing out endless power that wrapped around Xiaoping's body, turning him into a sphere that shuttled through the void and into a dimensional space, arriving at another location. Bang! Bang! With another punch, the bodies of the 2 Red Scarf Bandits exploded. They didn't even manage to escape a meter away before they were blasted into pieces on the spot. The tyrannical force traversed dozens of miles, creating a terrifying crack that seemed to split the city into two. A huge abyss appeared on the ground. No, this bastard is too fast. There's no way to escape. Grab that Taotai girl as a hostage. He'll definitely hold back for fear of harming her. The remaining Golden Core Perfected Masters were terrified. They didn't expect the dignified Golden Core Perfected Masters to die so easily. It was as if they weren't facing a cultivator of the same level, but a returning nature realm, or even a transcendence realm master. After Xiaoping's bombardment, there were only 3 Red Scarf Bandits left and 4 Mafia family patriarchs. There were originally 14 Golden Core Perfected Masters, but now only half were left. Swoosh! Immediately, 4 Mafia family patriarchs took action and instantly pounced on Tan Menglu. They were like eagles pouncing on sheep. They stretched out their hands and immediately wanted to capture Tan Menglu. Idiot! Xiaoping shook his head. He had signed a contract with Tan Menglu, so he naturally knew how terrifying a creature Tan Menglu was. Although she looked like a little lowly, the strength inside her body was terrifying without limit. She had already reached the Golden Core realm. Even with the Taotai clan's racial talent, her combat power was even comparable to ordinary returning nature realm cultivators. Therefore, she could be domineering. Even if she was captured, she didn't have to worry about becoming a slave. In addition, she had eaten her fill these days. The Taotai energy in her body had increased again, and her combat power had increased by several times. This group of Mafia family patriarchs wanted to find trouble with her. They were simply courting death. Bad guy, you want to capture me? Eat them all. Tan Menglu also saw the actions of the 4 Mafia family patriarchs. Her entire body instantly turned into a cloud of black smoke and quickly condensed into a huge black hole. Taotai Divine Ability Devour. This devouring power was more than several times stronger than Xiaoping's Devour Divine Ability. Its diameter reached hundreds of meters. It was as if a gap had appeared in this world and devoured everything. Within the range of the black hole, no matter what substance, material, or even living creature, it would be hard to escape death. Once it was devoured, it would immediately be refined into atoms. Facing such a virtual black hole, even if these Golden Core Perfected Masters wanted to hurt Tan Menglu, it was impossible. Their attacks couldn't harm the essence of the black hole. No! The 4 Mafia family patriarchs screamed, and their pupils constricted. They wanted to escape, but it was too late. In order to capture Tan Menglu as soon as possible, they had used all their strength. Looking at it now, they were simply walking into a trap. They threw themselves towards the black hole. In addition to the terrifying suction produced by the black hole, how could they escape? In the next second, the 4 Mafia family patriarchs were instantly devoured by the black hole. With a boom, they turned into nothingness and were completely devoured, refined, and crushed by the black hole. Whoosh! After devouring the 4 Golden Core Perfected Masters, Tan Menglu once again returned to her original appearance. She still looked like a little girl. No one would have thought that she could easily kill the 4 Golden Core Perfected Masters. The surrounding Mafia members were shocked, and their legs were trembling. They finally remembered that Taotai was not a creature that only knew how to eat. It was known as one of the primordial 10 beasts, and was once known as a universal calamity. Chapter 1574. Blood Escape. Seeing that the 4 patriarchs of the underworld families had been swallowed, the remaining 3 cadres of the Red Scarf Pirates were so scared that they peed their pants. They immediately used a secret escape technique of the Red Scarf Pirates, Blood Escape. Each of them burned their own chi and blood, and their whole body emitted a red light. In an instant, they turned into a rainbow light and fled thousands of kilometers away in an instant. It was impossible to catch up. Escaped! Xiaoping narrowed his eyes. Seeing the 3 senior cadres of the Red Scarf Pirates fleeing, he did not chase them. Instead, he revealed an inexplicable smile, his eyes deep. Although this blood escape was indeed good, if he wanted to chase them, the 3 cadres of the Red Scarf Pirates would definitely not be able to escape. But what was the use of killing these 3 small fries? It was better to release these 3 people and wait for them to escape from the World Head Star. Xia Ping would then be able to find the real lair of the Red Scarf Pirates and capture this group of interstellar pirates. Seeing that these people had left, Xia Ping no longer cared about them. He turned to look at the remaining elites of the underworld families. These people also knew that they could not escape no matter what, so they all stayed where they were, trembling, waiting for their punishment. Do you want to die or live? Xia Ping looked at this group of people indifferently. This group of underworld elites were all smart people. Hearing this sentence, they knew that their chance to live had come. They all knelt on the ground and shouted, "Lord Yang, we are willing to surrender." Although they were all members of the underworld families, it did not mean that they were as united as a real family. In the end, it was just an underworld organization. Usually if they were strong it would be fine. But once they lost power, they would fall faster than the grass on the wall. With this sentence, it meant that all the underworld forces of the World Head Star surrendered. After all, even their leader was beheaded, and most of the higher-ups were dead. No one could compete with Xia Ping. Congratulations, junior brother Yang. Congratulations on unifying the World Head Star. With a swoosh at this moment, Duan Qingrui jumped out and came to Xia Ping, showing a look of congratulations and flattery like a lackey. In fact, when he saw Xia Ping beheading more than a dozen perfected golden cores like cutting melons and vegetables, his hair stood on end. He wanted to leave the World Head Star immediately and never come back. However, thinking about it carefully, if Xia Ping were to rule this planet, no spaceship would be able to leave with a single order. In that case, where could he escape to? Most importantly, he believed that his actions hadn't been exposed. The other party didn't know that he had colluded with the underworld forces. With his identity as an outer sect disciple of the Qiankuan sect, the other party shouldn't act against him. And now that the other party had unified the World Head Star, he was the second most powerful person here. His future days would probably be better than now. He would be second only to one and above millions. Therefore, he couldn't wait to jump out and congratulate Xia Ping, hoping to leave a good impression. Senior brother Duan, you have the guts to come out now. Do you think you can still live after betraying me? Xia Ping glanced sideways at Duan Qingrui. This glance instantly caused Duan Qingrui to be frightened out of his wits, and he felt as if he had fallen into an icy pit. He had been exposed. The matter of him betraying Xia Ping had indeed been exposed, and he couldn't hide it from the other party's eyes at all. Junior brother Xia. Duan Qingrui still wanted to say something, but before he could speak, Xia Ping's palm slammed into his body. With a boom, his entire body exploded, and he died without a complete corpse. Stupid, you are a fence-sitter. Do you think you can live? You are dreaming. Xia Ping looked calmly at the dead Duan Qingrui and didn't move at all. One day later, the entire World Head Star's power map had undergone an earth-shattering change. All the underworld powers were broken up and completely unified. No one dared to oppose Xia Ping's rule anymore. Even the higher-ups of the underworld had slave chips installed in their bodies, and they became Xia Ping's slaves. This enslaved many crazy people in the underworld, and even if they wanted to go against him, they were powerless. After all, Xia Ping had a reason to attack him. Many of the underworld forces surrounded him, and that was a crime punishable by death. Now they just became his slaves and weren't killed. That was already merciful. Of course, there were some elites who were loyal to their families who opposed Xia Ping's rule. But as soon as these people started to resist, they were killed by Xia Ping with one slap. There were also some people who took advantage of their seniority, thinking that their position was important, and that it had to be him. They looked down on Xia Ping, and were killed by Xia Ping. It was useless to have disobedient dogs. This world didn't lack anyone, and the treasures that had been stored by the major underworld families for many years were also moved to Xia Ping's current mansion. The previous mansion was abandoned by Xia Ping. He moved the headquarters to the mansion that used to belong to the Medlin family. This was the most luxurious and superior place on World Head Star. Good stuff. Seeing the treasures that were constantly being moved over, Xia Ping was very excited. As expected of the underworld families that had operated on World Head Star for hundreds of years, and it was in the strategic center, they were simply overflowing with wealth. Just the family's treasures were equivalent to 2 to 3 billion universe dollars. Among them were spirit stones, elixirs, pills, materials, magic treasures, and countless other things that made countless people drool. The combined wealth of the various families was at least more than 20 billion universe dollars. And the Medlin family had even more treasures. There were countless magic treasures and various materials. Xiaoping felt that with these materials in hand, he could set up more restrictive formations. And what is this? Among the pile of treasures, Xiaoping sensed that there was a black box with a powerful restrictive formation engraved on it, which could isolate the aura inside the box. Sir, a high-ranking member of the Medlin family immediately said, "This is a treasure that Blunt obtained from a secret channel at a huge price. It is said that it was used to offer to the Red Scarf Thieves." The 7 high-ranking cadres of the Red Scarf Thieves came to World Head Star to escort this treasure. They didn't come specifically to deal with you, sir. There's such a thing. Xiaoping's heart moved. 7 high-ranking cadres of the Red Scarf Thieves to escort a treasure together. One could imagine the preciousness of this treasure. It was definitely the kind that was priceless. Dong! He immediately made a move and operated his magic power to break the restrictive formation of this box. With a snap, the black box was opened, revealing the thing inside. And what is this? Xiaoping's body suddenly trembled because the black box opened, revealing a majestic power of stars. It was as vast as a star, sweeping through the ages, emitting an ancient and vicissitude aura. It was a bead that was about the size of a fist. However, it contained boundless power of the stars, and its interior seemed to be engraved with dense star runes, as if there was a world of stars living within. Chapter 1575. Star Nucleus? What is this? Xiaoping asked curiously. Corinne immediately explained. A star nucleus is the core of a planet. It gathers the energy essence of the whole planet. If you want to take out this star nucleus, you must wait for the planet to enter its old age and death period. Only then will you have the opportunity to enter the depths of the mantle and take out the core. Of course, you can take it out at other times, but it will definitely cause the whole planet to explode. The power is boundless, and the radius of 1 light year will be swept away and completely destroyed. Even a weak sage will be seriously injured by the explosion. Therefore, a star nucleus is extremely precious and valuable. At that time, it was very difficult for the old master to get a star nucleus. I didn't expect to see one in this place. My luck is really good. Corinne's tone was very excited. Xiaoping also understood why a star nucleus was so precious. Although there are countless planets in the universe, the problem is that the lifespan of each planet is too long, easily as long as billions of years. In their lifetime, it is impossible for ordinary creatures to see the moment when a planet is dying. Even if a planet is really dying, it is not so easy to obtain a star nucleus. It has long been targeted by the great forces and even the sages. How could ordinary people have a chance? Therefore, it is really a miracle to find a star nucleus. How did these guys find a star nucleus? Xiaoping was very curious. Corinne said, "Don't worry about how this group of people found it. It is probably a coincidence. This star nucleus is of great benefit to you. It can be used to practice the star guiding art and draw out the star energy inside the star nucleus, greatly enhancing the power of the star guiding art and promoting the star body to a very high realm. Even if the energy inside is exhausted, the star nucleus itself is still an extremely precious material. It can also be used to refine a star magic weapon, and it can even absorb the starry sky energy and reuse it." Hearing this, Xiaoping also knew how precious this star nucleus was. For people who cultivate the power of stars, it is simply a treasure, and it can also be used repeatedly, which is hard to find in the world. Now that the Red Scarf Thief has lost this treasure, he reckons that he will fly into a rage. Even if he mobilizes many battleships to attack the World Head Star, he feels that it is not impossible. Thinking of this, Xiaoping took stock of the treasures and had the surrounding people leave. After obtaining this astral core, he could sense the opportunity to break through. As for the 3 high-level cadres of the Red Scarf Bandits, He had completely grasped their whereabouts. Currently they were like stray dogs, hiding in a corner of the world head star, recuperating from their injuries, not daring to come out. After all, they were merely golden core realm cultivators who had yet to condense an essence spirit. Naturally, it was impossible for them to leave the planet and live alone in the void. If they wanted to leave this place, they would need a spaceship. The problem was that Xia Ping controlled the entire world head star, and every ship was being inspected. The 3 red scarf pirate cadres did not dare to show themselves, afraid that Xia Ping would discover them and kill them on the spot. Therefore, they only dared to hide in the dark and slowly recover from their injuries. Since the other party had not left and returned to the Red Scarf Bandits' headquarters, Xia Ping did not bother with them. He was not anxious at all. Another day passed. Xia Ping stayed in the quiet room, and no one disturbed him. In front of him was an astral core that was emitting an azure blue light, infecting the whole quiet room. Wisps of starlight appeared, as if the quiet room had turned into a starry world. This astral core was filled with rich star energy, almost condensed into a substance, as if it had fallen into a sea of stars. He sat down cross-legged and operated the star guiding art. Every pore in his body was breathing, producing a whirlpool power, guiding the boundless star energy out of the astral core and instilling it into his body. Rumble, after an unknown amount of time, a huge amount of star energy entered his body. His spiritual power rose steadily and finally reached the perfect realm, filling every corner of the purple mansion space. Dong! At this moment, the boundless energy instantly broke through the bottleneck. Like water flowing naturally, it smoothly broke the barrier of the purple mansion space and spread towards the depths of the void. The purple mansion space also benefited from this and rapidly expanded. The spiritual power in his body also increased at a speed visible to the naked eye. Intermediate Golden Core Realm. Xia Ping knew that he had finally stepped into the intermediate Golden Core Realm, and his strength was much stronger. His spiritual power was twice as strong as before, and so was his divine sense, which had become even more terrifying. The boundless spiritual power contained in the Golden Core was even more vast. It seemed that the primordial spirit in the depths of the Golden Core was clearer, faintly discernible, as if it was about to materialize. One could imagine that he was one step closer to the returning nature realm, the realm of condensing the primordial spirit. Such strong spiritual power. Xia Ping opened his eyes, revealing a glimmer of light. Every meridian in his body was filled with boundless magic power energy, like a great river surging and flowing, like a flood dragon roaming. His every move was filled with a domineering aura, more than twice as strong as before. At the same time, the Hell Golden Crow bloodline in his body also benefited from the breakthrough of the realm, awakening more than 1 million Hell Golden Crow cells, making the total number of awakened Hell Golden Crow cells to 4 million, and the power of the bloodline was even stronger. Of course, Xia Ping's biggest change was in the use of the star guiding art. He had swallowed the star energy of the star nucleus, which greatly improved the star guiding art, saving him hundreds of years of cultivation time, and improving the star form to a new realm. Vaguely, an illusory painting appeared in Xia Ping's body. Every acupoint on his body seemed to have a star living in it. The stars flickered and interacted with each other, containing a mysterious and ancient power. It was vast and mighty. This was the myriad world star map. Without a doubt, this was a sign that the star form was about to reach the great completion, which meant that the myriad world star map was condensed in his body. Once this picture scroll was condensed, the power of the star form would increase by hundreds of times, or even more than 1,000 times. If this myriad world star map was activated, it would immediately produce many visions, drawing the power of countless stars in the void to suppress the enemy, sweep through the void, and have the power to be invincible in an era. Even every breath would attract the starlight, making the stars dance. If he cultivated normally, Xia Ping did not know how long it would take, but with the help of the star nucleus he could save a lot of time. Moreover, even though he had absorbed a large amount of star energy, the star energy contained in the star nucleus had not dissipated, and he had only absorbed a small part. One could imagine how terrifying the energy contained in a star nucleus was. It was definitely not something that people at the Golden Elixir realm could imagine. No matter what, it was the life essence of a planet. Chapter 1576. At this moment, in a hidden valley on the world head star, just as Xia Ping was cultivating in seclusion, the three high-level cadres of the Red Scarf Bandits were called Tao Yi, Tao Air and Tao San. They were called the Three Tao Brothers. They were also triplets. Big brother, are we leaving the world head star now? Isn't it too dangerous? That cruel heaven and earth sect disciple is still searching for us on the world head star. If we are discovered by that bastard, we are dead. Humph, don't worry. These days I have been observing the movements of the world head star and found that their search has weakened. After such a long time without any news, I believe they have already slacked off. Also, this is a business planet. There are countless spaceships coming in every day. If this continues, they will definitely not be able to take it, and it will affect the business environment here. As expected of Big Brother, you are indeed an expert in gathering information. But why can't we find any news of that young Budong? Previously I thought he was just an ordinary legacy disciple that could be easily crushed to death. I didn't expect him to be such a ferocious tiger. Fuck. I am not convinced. Is this the true strength of the Heaven and Earth sect's legacy disciple? More than 10 of us golden cores attacked together, and even set up a trap. But we were still beaten like dead dogs. If we didn't escape quickly, we would have ended up like the others, all killed and our golden cores taken away. Sigh, are thieves really not as good as the regular army? Is the difference so big? Comparing oneself to others is really infuriating. We are all golden core realm. Why is that kid so abnormal? It doesn't make sense. The three high-level cadres of the Red Scarf Bandits gritted their teeth. They felt very sullen about this failure. At the same time, they still had lingering fear. Luckily, they escaped quickly. Otherwise, they would have definitely died in the hands of that kid. Big brother, if we escape now, the leader's mission will fail. What about the Star Corps? Will the leader be angry? Tao San said with a little fear. Their mission this time was to escort the Star Corps back. But now they failed and even lost a few Golden Core realm companions, suffering unprecedented losses. If the leader of the Red Scarf Bandits was angry, they would probably be in big trouble. A failure is a failure. What can we do about it? It's not that we didn't work hard, it's just that the enemy is too strong. Tao Wen said. Furthermore, 4 high-ranking officers have died this time, causing the Red Scarf Bandits to suffer a huge loss in terms of high-end combat strength. As Golden Cores, the 3 of us are considered to be extremely strong. I believe that we will definitely be highly regarded by the leader, and will not be casually punished. He was extremely confident. That's right, when we go back this time, we must let the leader personally take action. The army will suppress the border and kill that hateful Yangbu, so that he will know the power of our Red Scarf Bandits. Tao Air gritted his teeth and swore to take revenge. That's right. That star nucleus is the treasure that the leader wants, and he must get it. Yangbu has gotten his hands on that treasure, and this is the crime of possessing a treasure. He will die for sure. Tao San also agreed. Forget it, don't talk so much nonsense. Let's hurry up and drive the flying ship away. If we delay any longer, I'm afraid there will be an accident. Tao Yi immediately said, urging his 2 brothers to move quickly. Whoosh! The 3 of them immediately moved and ran towards a remote valley. Coincidentally, there was a Red Scarf Bandits flying ship parked there. This flying ship was the one that they had left on the World Head planet as their last route of retreat. They did not expect that they would actually use it now. One by one, they boarded the flying ship. Beep beep. Just as they were about to leave, all of a sudden, their communicators rang. It's a message from the leader. Looking at the signal on the communication device, Tao Yi's face changed. He gritted his teeth and finally picked up the call. Instantly, a holographic projection appeared. A middle-aged man with a hooked nose and one eye dressed in black appeared in front of them. This one-eye man was the leader of the Red Scarf Bandits, Wuan. The moment his holographic projection appeared, it was filled with an oppressive aura. Even though it was a holographic projection, It still emitted a tyrannical aura that blended into heaven and earth. Instantly, the three Tao brothers were sweating profusely and terrified. They knew how powerful and cruel their leader was. What exactly is going on? Why didn't you reply to my messages these few days? You only said that the mission failed. Why did the mission fail? Wuan said coldly. Could it be that you want to betray the Red Scarf Bandits and take the Star Core for yourself? His eyes revealed a cold gleam. If the three Tao brothers really dared to betray the Red Scarf Bandits, then even if the entire universe wanted to hunt them down, he would not hesitate. After all, the Star Core was incomparably precious. To him, it was extremely useful. Leader. With a plop, Taoyi knelt on the ground in fright. We didn't betray the Red Scarf Bandits. It's just that an accident really happened during the mission. A Heaven and Earth sect direct disciple appeared and single-handedly wiped out all of our people and the various underworld clan leaders on the World Head planet. He hurriedly recounted what happened these few days, indicating that they didn't want to take the Star Core for themselves. How is that possible? Wuan frowned. Even if he is a Heaven and Earth sect direct disciple, he is only at the Golden Core realm. He actually fought against more than 10 of you and killed more than half of you. Did you waste your cultivation on dogs? He simply didn't dare to believe what he heard. He knew that the direct disciples of the Saint class sects were very strong, but there was a limit to how strong they could be. There was no reason for one to fight against more than 10 of them. Leader, everything we said is true. If there is even half a lie, may the heavens strike us with lightning. Taoyi swore to the heavens. If you don't believe us, you can send people to investigate the World Head planet. Then you will know that what we said is true. Such a matter can't be hidden. Hearing this, Wuan nodded. That was indeed the case. Such a huge matter couldn't be hidden. Whether it was true or not, he just had to send people to investigate, and he would know. He believed that the three Tao brothers didn't have the guts to say such a ridiculous lie to deceive him. But if this matter was true, then the strength of the Heaven and Earth sect direct disciple was a little too terrifying. All right, all of you stay on the World Head planet and wait for me to come. Wuan said solemnly. What? Leader, you are coming personally? The three Tao brothers were dumbfounded. They didn't expect that their leader would be alerted. Of course I am coming. Wuan sneered. You killed 4 of my high-level officers and stole my Star Core. This is an irreconcilable hatred. I can't tolerate it. His body emitted a monstrous killing intent. Is he a Heaven and Earth sect direct disciple? The three Tao brothers were stunned. So what if he is a Heaven and Earth sect direct disciple? The universe is so big. After killing that kid, I will run to the Western universe. No matter how capable Heaven and Earth sect is, can they stretch their hands into the Western universe? No one can take my things and live. You all stay on the World Head planet and wait for me to come. We will work together. Wuan made up his mind because the Star Core was too important. It was related to his future cultivation. As long as he got the Star Core, he would have a chance to advance to the Law Phase realm. He might even reach the Lightning Calamity realm in the future. Whoever dared to block his path would die. Yes, leader. Chapter 1577. Another day had passed. Xiaoping had completely consolidated his cultivation at the intermediate stage of the Golden Core realm, and he had also raised his star body to a new level. There were 360 stars in the Myriad World star chart, and now he had lit up 7 or 8 of them. Once all these stars were lit up, the Myriad World star map would be completely condensed. His astral body would also instantly reach the Great Accomplishment realm, and he would begin to have the aura of a supreme constitution. Master. Tan Minglu seemed to sense that Xiaoping had ended his seclusion. She rushed in from outside excitedly. Let's go find something else to eat. It's too boring here. She looked at Xiaoping pitifully. Isn't it enough to eat so much every day? Xiaoping asked. Tan Minglu shouted. Master, what do you think Taotai is? A big eater who eats everything? Our Taotai is a gourmet, you know? You're looking down on Taotai too much if you think he's satisfied by just eating some rice. She conveniently grabbed a rice ball made of crystal rice and took a big bite. These days, rice balls had become her favorite. They were like snacks to her, and she would eat dozens of them every now and then. Whoosh! At this moment, a figure suddenly walked out of the void. A little girl appeared in front of Xiaoping and Tan Menglu. She immediately flew over to Xiaoping and said softly, "Brother." Dumbo. Xiaoping immediately knew that this little girl was Gaia's Dumbo. However, she usually slept in the Mountain River Pearl space. He did not expect her to wake up now. At this moment, Dumbo turned her head and clearly saw Tan Menglu. She looked her up and down with her big eyes, especially when she saw her bulging breasts. Then, she looked at her flat body and said expressionlessly, "Mistress." "Who's a mistress? Don't talk nonsense." Hearing this, Tan Menglu immediately went crazy. She felt that this term was too insulting. She actually thought that she was a mistress. Vixen. Dumbo used another term to describe her. Tan Menglu became even more furious. "Don't think that I can't tell that you're mocking me with a different term. Don't underestimate Taotia's intelligence. I'll say it again. I'm Taotai, not a vixen. Xian is brainless." Dumbo was expressionless. She hugged Xiaoping with both hands as if to declare her sovereignty. Provocation. This was definitely provocation. Tan Menglu was so angry that her temples were bulging. She wanted nothing more than to give this fellow a good beating. She revealed a fierce expression. "I'll give you 1 minute to apologize. Otherwise, even if Master is angry, I'll beat you up. You don't know how terrifying the wrath of a Taotai is." Hee hee. Dumbo chuckled and looked at Tan Menglu with disdain. It exploded. Tan Menglu was so angry that she exploded. She had never been so angry in her life. However, those 2 words had touched her nerves and made her fly into a rage. "Damn it. You asked for it. I will hang you up for at least 3 days and 3 nights. Tan Menglu was furious. She instantly attacked and exploded with the power of a Taotai. Her entire body transformed into a bolt of black lightning. Her speed was unbelievably fast. Her fists came crashing down with earth-shattering power. Even if she didn't use Taotia's divine ability, just by relying on her tremendous strength, she could match divine beasts and be incomparably violent. Dong! Dumbo stood in front of Xiaoping. She didn't move. She didn't do anything. She just stood where she was. The fist smashed into her body. Suddenly, there was a terrifying sound and a series of explosions. What? Tan Menglu was dumbfounded. She could not believe her eyes. She had been confident in her punch, but it had been useless against little Dumbo. She felt as if her fist had smashed into a spatial barrier. No matter how much power she used, she couldn't move it at all. Instead, there was a rebounding force that made her fist numb. Hee hee. Dumbo's eyes were filled with even more disdain. Damn it. Tan Menglu was furious. She felt that her dignity as a Taotai had been trampled on. She was looking down on others. What was with that look? Was she looking down on her power as a Taotai? She mobilized all the Taotia's power in her body. Every cell in her body provided explosive power. It was as if a black hole had been formed. The air and light twisted. Even a normal cultivator in the returning nature realm wouldn't dare to take this punch head-on. This kind of power was enough to overturn mountains and seas, shatter stars, and destroy planets. In an instant she punched out. Dumbo's little hand slapped over. It contained the power of a star. It was pure to the extreme. This kind of power wasn't something a young Taotai could compare with. Dong! In the next second, Tan Menglu flew out like a cannonball. She smashed the walls of the quiet room and flew for hundreds of kilometers, smashing mountains one after another. She even slid along the ground, creating a path that was hundreds of kilometers long. Along the way, rocks were shattered and mountains collapsed. The scene was shocking. It was as if this planet was going to be torn in half. However, the Taotia's vitality was so strong that it made people's hair stand on end. Although it had suffered such a heavy blow, it still seemed to be fine. It climbed out of the hole. But before she could do anything, Dumbo instantly appeared in front of her. It was expressionless and immediately attacked. Every blow was like a falling star, sinking the earth. Bang bang bang. Tan Menglu couldn't fight back at all. She was beaten like a ball, slapped to the ground again and again. Even if she wanted to use the devouring god art, it was useless. Just as she used it, she was slapped to the ground, instantly interrupting the activation of her bloodline god art. Moreover, this kind of power seemed to be able to tear a black hole apart. As a Taotai, her body was extremely strong. Plus, the opponent didn't kill her. It seemed like he just wanted to teach her a lesson, so her life wasn't in any danger. But even so, she still felt very sullen. "Help, master, help. This crazy woman is going to kill the Taotai." Tan Menglu screamed and asked Xiaoping for help. Xiaoping smiled but didn't say anything. He just watched the show from the side. Although he had signed a contract with Tan Menglu, deep in her heart, Tan Menglu still had the pride of being a Taotai. She was the rebellious type. Sometimes, she only saw her master as a long-term meal ticket and didn't show any respect. Now was the perfect opportunity to let this little Taotai know who the real master was. Even without this contract, she couldn't be his match. A mere Taotai wasn't much. Seeing that Xiaoping didn't have any intention of interfering, Tan Menglu finally surrendered. She screamed, "Sorry sister, I was wrong. I surrender. Spare me." She was furious. It was clearly the opponent who provoked her first, but she was forced to apologize. This was too despicable. Could it be that whoever's fist was bigger was more reasonable? Chapter 1578. A few minutes later, under the threat of Little Dumbo, Tan Menglu finally shook hands with Little Dumbo and admitted that Little Dumbo's status was above her, and she had to call her sister. Tan Menglu gritted her teeth in anger, but there was nothing she could do. Little Dumbo's fist was bigger than hers. Even if she used Taotai divine power, she was no match for Little Dumbo. She wanted to eat Xiaoping, this bad master who was watching from the side, like a meat bun. He was too evil to watch her being bullied. "Little Dumbo, why are you awake? Is there something wrong?" Xiaoping asked curiously. "Yes, very noisy." Little Dumbo nodded. "Noisy? What do you mean?" Xiaoping asked carefully. He finally knew why Little Dumbo suddenly woke up. The reason was the trillions of people imprisoned on Gaia planet. Among the crowd, there were a few returning Truth Realm experts who could fly outside of the atmosphere. Of course, they were in Gaia planet, and there were space barriers everywhere. They could not break through the atmosphere, so they could only be imprisoned on this planet. Moreover, these Restoration Realm cultivators did not give up and tried all kinds of ways to break through this place. They often bombarded the space barrier, trying to break through the defense here. Naturally, these attacks were nothing to Gaia. They did not hurt him at all. But the problem was that it made Little Dumbo, who was sleeping, very uncomfortable. It was as if someone kept knocking on the door while she was sleeping, affecting the quality of her sleep. "Brother, can I kill them?" Little Dumbo was very angry when she woke up. If not for Xiaoping, she would have killed this group of people long ago. "No rush. Seems like I have to think of a way to solve this." Xiaoping touched his chin. Even if he killed the Restoration Realm cultivators now, the same situation would happen in the future. After all, Little Dumbo would continue to evolve. She might even capture Transcendence Realm, Lightning Retribution Realm, or even Sages. Therefore, he had to think of a way to solve this once and for all. He had a vague idea in his mind. Perhaps he could use the power of the true illusion technique to make Gaia planet stronger, or even transform it into a different world. But his strength was still too weak, and it could not be realized for the time being. "Brother, what can I do?" Little Dumbo looked at Xiaoping. "That's simple. It's just to prevent this group of people from disturbing you. As long as you activate the 5 elements Sky Dragon Demon Ceiling formation and completely prohibit flying, it will be solved." Xiaoping smiled faintly. His solution was very simple. It was to use the array left behind by the Myriad Star Sect Master to set up a forbidden space array to completely restrict the flight of the Gaia planet's living beings. Below 10,000 meters, humans could fly freely, but above 10,000 meters, it was an absolute no-fly zone. In this way, no one could rush out of the atmosphere of Gaia planet and affect Dumbo's sleep. Thinking of this, Xiaoping immediately took action. He entered Gaia planet and activated the restriction array left in Dumbo's body. A vast and mysterious array emerged, covering the entire planet. The returning True Realm cultivators who were still trying to charge into the planet, immediately felt a heavy pressure. Their bodies were like kites with broken strings, falling towards the ground. Damn it, what's going on? Could it be that our actions have angered the master of this world, and he wants to attack us? Bastard, it's all your stupid ideas. I already said that we can't casually anger the master of this world. Otherwise we will all die. Bullshit, if not, how can we escape from this world? I don't want to stay in this world forever and wait for death. Shut up, hurry up and escape, otherwise we will all die. Many returning True Realm cultivators were shocked and fled. They felt that this kind of restriction array was not something they could resist. If they continued to stay in mid-air, they would definitely be crushed to death. However, the power of this restriction array was also reasonable. After all, this was an array set up by a sage. Even a sage could resist it. How could a mere returning True Realm cultivator be its opponent? A group of people fell to the ground. Their faces were ugly. They knew that they could no longer escape from the sky. It was clear that the master of this planet wanted to imprison them in this place. Interesting. Using the power of Dumbo, Xiaoping also discovered that Gaia planet had undergone earth-shaking changes. The trillions of living beings who lived on this planet had completely changed this place. Although the humans here had nothing at the beginning, and all the tools had disappeared, there were also many forging masters among this group of people who knew how to make all kinds of wonderful tools. Therefore, they quickly adapted to this primitive planet, made many tools, and began to build cities. They occupied many places, and had already formed many giant human cities. Different people formed groups forming so-called forces, countries, and organizations. Even for resources, food, territories, and so on, they also fought with each other, resulting in countless deaths and injuries. After these people died, their souls were also absorbed by Gaia, which made Dumbo's power continuously grow. The land area was also increasing at a crazy speed. Compared to when he stayed in the Mist Star Field, the size of Dumbo's planet was already 3 times bigger than before. This kind of growth speed was so fast that it was shocking and unbelievable. This was not deliberately done by Dumbo, but the natural growth of Gaia planet. At this time, after many people's lives had stabilized, they were also extremely confused about their sudden appearance in this world. They kept guessing. Damn it. What the hell happened? I stayed on the planet and never offended anyone. Why did I suddenly appear in this place? Which powerful being is joking? To be honest, to be able to swallow a planet in an instant and quickly transfer trillions of people to another world. This kind of ability is definitely a sage-level powerhouse. No way, why would a sage target ordinary people like us? We are too unlucky. Damn, I am the unlucky one. I am the young master of the Changtian faction. I have a bright future. I only came to this planet for a vacation, but I was caught and brought here. Who can be more wrong than me? If I knew this earlier, I wouldn't have come. Damn, I was traveling with a few concubines at that time. Suddenly, I came to this place where even birds don't shit. I was so scared that I couldn't recover for a few months. Sob, you are nothing. I was speculating in real estate on Bawa planet. I invested all my money in it. Now when I wake up, all my houses are gone. My pocket is even cleaner than my face. Who can be more miserable than me? How can we leave this damn place? Leave. Don't even think about leaving. Even the powerful beings of the returning truth realm want to leave this world and pass through the atmosphere. But they can't do it. There are space barriers all around. Without a doubt, this is a space cage to lock us up. I am just a nobody. Using a space cage to lock me up is too much. Is there any justice in this world? Chapter 1579. Looks like the people are seething with resentment. Xiaoping raised his eyebrows. He used Gaia's power to perceive the voices of every human. He knew that the 3 trillion humans he had captured were furious and hated him, the mastermind. His eyes lit up. If he guided them a little, he would definitely be able to harvest a wave of hatred. In his eyes, these people were treasures that could be harvested. But now was not the time to harvest. The moment these people's emotions reached their peak would be the moment he made his move. And this also required an opportunity. Right. If I can build an interdomain teleportation array on this planet and connect Gaia with the Hell Plane, I can let many dark ghosts and demons enter this place to fight. Suddenly, Xiaoping had an idea, and his eyes lit up. If many nether ghosts and demons die, their dissipated soul energy will definitely fuse with planet Gaia, greatly accelerating the growth of planet Gaia. He thought of another way to use the power of this group of people. To be honest, the soul energy of Hell's dark ghosts and demons was more than 10 times stronger than that of ordinary humans. If he could devour the soul energy of dark ghosts, it would be of great benefit to Gaia. And he did not need to fight personally. The people on Gaia would naturally fight for their own survival. It was equivalent to him hiring a group of super fighters for free. He could even capture all kinds of cosmic villains and murderers from all over the universe to help, turning this place into a super battlefield, a trial ground for fighting with Hell. Of course, it had to be a temporary teleportation array that could be interrupted at any time. Otherwise, if he really connected a permanent channel with Hell and allowed demons from Hell to come in continuously, it would be impossible to stop them. That would be pure suicide. If I want to build a teleportation array that connects to Hell, it seems that I have to study that secret plane and find the spatial location of the Hell Plane. Xiaoping narrowed his eyes and considered the feasibility of this matter. After all, this concerned his future. If Dumbo continued to evolve, he would definitely become a saint-level expert. Then he would have a powerful helper. Would he need to worry about other dangers? At the same time, a few light years away from World Head Planet, a huge wormhole opened. Battleships jumped out one after another. There were more than 1,000 of them. And every battleship was extremely strong, not something a normal universe ship could compare to. The battleship was equipped with a dense array of cannons. The moment it was fired, it would be countless laser cannons, containing the power to destroy the heavens and earth. This kind of military power was enough to destroy a small country in the universe and destroy dozens of planets. These warships were the elite forces of the Red Scarf Bandits, and it seemed like they had come out in full force. One of the battleships, no, it should be a space fortress. It was incomparably huge and was equivalent to an aircraft carrier during the nautical era. It was like a small planet, and it was the true headquarters of the Red Scarf Bandits. Why did the Red Scarf Bandits always come and go like the wind? No one was able to find their headquarters. The reason was because their headquarters were universe fortresses. They could move to any corner of the universe at any time. With such mobility, no one would be able to find their nest. At this moment, the leader of the Red Scarf Bandits, Wuan, and many of the senior cadres of the Red Scarf Bandits were gathered in the center of the stronghold. The strength of these people was extremely terrifying. At the very least, they were at the early stage of the Golden Core realm. And there were even some who were at the peak of the Golden Core realm. It could be said that there were 108 high-level cadres. Xiaoping killed 4 of them and heavily injured 3. Adding the losses from other battles, there were only about 90 left. In addition, the Red Scarf Bandits had 3 deputy leaders. Their positions were second only to Wuan. Their strength was at the initial stages of the returning reality realm. Wuan was at the peak of the intermediate stages of the returning reality realm, and was about to step into the advanced stages of the returning reality realm. No matter where in the universe this strength was, it was not to be underestimated. We have finally arrived. Is this the star field near World Head Planet? But leader, we have attacked World Head Planet and killed a direct disciple of Qingquan sect. This is equivalent to offending Qingquan sect. After doing this, I am afraid we will no longer be able to stay in the star field ruled by Qingquan sect. A deputy leader said in a deep voice, "That kid must die. Otherwise, what prestige do we Red Scarf Bandits have? We must kill the chicken to scare the monkey and make the world fear him." Wuan sneered. I believe you all know that in recent years, we Red Scarf Bandits have been in a lot of trouble and suffered heavy losses. First, Yuko led a fleet and disappeared. Then, one of our secret planets was robbed, causing a large amount of crystal rice and 9 heaven-living soil to disappear. We suffered heavy losses and lost our biggest source of income. Until now, we still can't find the culprit. He gritted his teeth and his tone was full of hatred. The disappearance of Yuko. And the rest was just a small matter. After all, he was just a true Fire Realm elder, and not an elite Red Scarf bandits. What made the Red Scarf bandits hurt was that the planet was robbed. It caused a large amount of crystal rice and 9 heaven-living soil to disappear. They were unable to deliver the goods, and violated the contracts with many families. Therefore, they had to compensate for most of the losses. It could be said that it was a serious injury. Now, it was unknown how many interstellar pirates saw them like this, and wanted to take advantage of the situation. During this period of time, they had been in a terrible state. They had to constantly deal with the families that tried to claim compensation. After all, they had lost the crystal rice, and were in a state of breach of contract. Therefore, they didn't have time to care about the disappearance of Yuko and the rest. Of course, to Wuhan, the most important thing was to obtain the star core. This was an important treasure related to his cultivation. Once he obtained it, he would definitely advance to the Transcendence Realm in the future. If he could reach the Transcendence Realm, then there was no place in the vast universe that he couldn't go. Nothing was more important than his cultivation. Even if he had to give up the Red Scarf bandits, he wouldn't hesitate. Leader is right. During this period of time, we Red Scarf bandits have been too aggrieved. We have suffered setbacks everywhere. If we don't show our prowess, others will treat us as sick cats. Kill the chicken to scare the monkey. We can kill a direct disciple of the Qianquan sect to deter the others, so that the other forces won't act rashly. It is said that the planet's resources are not bad. It is prosperous and prosperous. There must be a large amount of treasures that will be enough to make up for our losses this time. Kill and conquer. We must let that stupid Qianquan sect disciple know the terror of us Red Scarf bandits, and remember it for life. Come. I have been longing for a massacre. Let the humans on the World Head planet know how terrifying we are. Let the universe hear the name of the Red Scarf bandits again. Chapter 1580. At this moment, Qianquan sect headquarters Qianquan Star. Many Qianquan sect elders had already received the news of the Red Scarf bandits moving out. This was because the large-scale movement of the Red Scarf bandits could not be hidden from the Qianquan sect's surveillance. But when they received the news, they had already arrived near the World Head Star. What did you say? The Red Scarf bandits came out in full strength to attack the World Head Star? How is that possible? Those Red Scarf bandits are crazy. They dare to offend Qianquan sect. Elder Yu Xiujuan was shocked when he heard the news. He never thought that the Red Scarf bandits would be so daring to confront Qianquan sect head-on. Were those galactic bandits not afraid of Qianquan sect's wrath? Of course, if it was just an ordinary planet, it was nothing. But the Red Scarf bandits were targeting the World Head Star. Xia Ping, the sage's disciple, was on that planet. If anything happened to Xia Ping, no matter how many treasures he got, it couldn't make up for it. This news is true, a disciple said. At this time, the Red Scarf bandits have already appeared near Jieshou Star, with a large army pressing down on the border. It is said that the Red Scarf bandits are so angry because Yang Buxixiang started a massacre on Jieshou Star and killed many of the leaders of the underworld organizations. He even killed 4 Red Scarf bandits' high-level cadres, scaring the remaining 3 into fleeing. So the Red Scarf bandits are furious and came out in full strength for revenge. He gave a brief explanation of why this had happened. What? When the elders heard this, they were speechless. They knew that Xia Ping had gone to the World Head Star, and that he was on a mission. But even if they were beaten to death, they would never have thought that not long after he went there, he would cause such huge trouble. Damn, this Xia Ping is a bit too cruel. He actually killed all the leaders of the underworld families. They were more than 10 Golden Core Realm Masters. And he killed them just like that. Xia Ping is only at the early stage of the Golden Core Realm, right? He's just at the early stage of the Golden Core Realm. Yet he's already so formidable to such an extent. He's fighting against more than 10 people alone. And he's even causing them to flee in a sorry state. Is the sage's disciple so strong? He can fight more than 10 of them? The group of elders had nothing to say. They originally wanted to let Xia Ping experience what was called the darkness of the world, and the fickleness of human nature. Who would have thought that Xia Ping would be able to break all laws with his strength alone? He didn't play games with them at all, and directly took drastic measures to eliminate all the upper echelons of the underworld family. The problem was that this kind of solution was too simple and crude. It was like poking a hornet's nest. When the young ones are hit, the old ones come. It would provoke the Red Scarf Bandits to come out in full force, and the consequences would be endless. No matter how he did it, Xia Ping is the disciple of our Qingquan sect's saint. He definitely can't be harmed by those Red Scarf Bandits. Yu Xiujuan immediately said, "Immediately send an elder over and stop those Red Scarf Bandits. They want to commit murder in the territory ruled by my Qingquan faction? They're simply tired of living." He revealed a murderous aura. But there is no teleportation formation between World Head Star and Universe Star. If we want to get there as soon as possible, we must build a temporary teleportation formation. This will take at least 6 hours. I wonder if junior brother Xia can withstand it? An elder said worriedly. Now that the Red Scarf Bandits had come out in full force, there were as many experts as the clouds. There were even 5 returning Truth Realm experts. With such a powerful force pressing down, no matter how powerful Xia Ping was, he wouldn't be able to withstand it. Not to mention resisting for 6 hours. Being able to resist for 2 hours was already a heaven-defying feat. Stop talking nonsense. Junior brother Xia has a backup plan. He shouldn't die so easily. Quickly build a temporary teleportation formation and teleport to World Head Star. Yu Xiujuan ordered at all costs. All the elders nodded. At this time, on a small planet near World Head Star, 40 to 50 figures of the Angel clan appeared. They had snow-white wings that seemed to be condensed from light energy. Every feather was a body of energy that emitted a holy and clean aura. When this aura was emitted, it had a calming effect. Even if one's heart was filled with madness, killing intent, anger and other emotions, they would all be calmed down, as if they were purified. And their strength was extremely terrifying. Among them, 20 were returning Truth Realm Angels and 30 were Golden Core Realm Angels. No matter where they were, they would be a huge force. These angels had a formation set up around them that could distort energy and achieve the effect of hiding their bodies in aura. It was as if they were in a different dimension. No scanner or divine sense could detect their existence. "Leader," an angel suddenly said. The Red Scarf Bandits finally came near World Head Star. The intelligence was right. They really came to deal with World Head Star and take revenge. This is a great opportunity. Good. Hearing this, an angel who looked like a middle-aged man sneered. This World Head Star was originally the land of evil in the Eastern Cosmos. A group of lawbreakers often enter the Western Cosmos and capture the various races of our Western Cosmos as slaves to sell. They are so daring that they even dare to capture members of my angel race. Previously, we were worried about Qingquan sect's influence and worried that our angel clan and Qingquan sect would become enemies, so we tolerated the existence of this evil planet and let them do as they pleased. But now it's different. With the Red Scarf Bandits taking the lead to deal with World Head Star, we can take the opportunity to capture World Head Star and the Red Scarf Bandits in one fell swoop. Then we can push all the blame for the destruction of World Head Star to the Red Scarf Bandits and let them take the blame. We can then get rid of this evil planet without anyone knowing. His body was filled with terrifying killing intent. But leader, that group of Red Scarf Bandits is not simple. They have at least 5 returning Truth Realm cultivators, thousands of warships, as well as space fortresses and other weapons. If we want to deal with them, I'm afraid we will suffer some losses. An angel said. He looked at the angel leader. Don't worry, we definitely won't fight head-on. Now it's a battle between the Red Scarf Bandits and Qingquan sect disciples. This is a great opportunity for dogs to bite each other. How can we not make use of it? The angel team leader sneered. When both sides are injured, I'll make a move and wipe out these 2 forces in one fell swoop, completely annihilating them. Even in death, they probably didn't expect there to be another Oriole eyeing them from behind. At this point, he paused for a moment before continuing. To tell you the truth, I've already made preparations for today's matter. We don't need to put in too much effort this time. I've already set up an angel purification array in this universe, covering a range of several million kilometers. When both sides are injured, we'll immediately activate the formation and purify this group of people, turning them into ashes. This way, we can eliminate this group of bastards without any effort. Chapter 1581. Angel Purification Formation? An angel heard this and couldn't help but shake. Leader, isn't this the famous offensive formation of the angel race? When such a formation is activated, it will immediately gather angel holy light and explode with purifying power. When the formation activates, all life forms in the formation, no matter what race, will be completely purified and destroyed. This is a supreme killing formation. It is extremely exclusive. Hearing this, many angels were shocked. This was the famous offensive formation of the angel race, purifying everything and destroying life forms. It could be said to be a world-destroying formation. Sometimes, when they felt that the life forms on a planet were too evil and couldn't be saved, they would activate such a formation to destroy the world and wipe out all life forms on the planet. That's right, it seems like you work hard. The leader nodded. With this formation in hand, that group of people are like turtles in a jar. They have nowhere to run. Whatever the formation is, these humans will all die. But leader, this way, the life forms on World Head Planet can't be avoided and all die? Some angels were worried about this. So be it. They are just lowly humans, a lower race. It doesn't matter how many die. A sinful planet like World Head Planet should be destroyed. The humans who live on this planet are all sinful. If they aren't purified, the heavens won't forgive them. The leader said, in reality, we aren't doing this to kill them, but to redeem these sinners and send them to heaven. He expressed that this was a redemption, a purification, and not a massacre. As expected of the leader, you are so right. The angels nodded to express their understanding. We will hide for now and wait for these two factions to fight. When they are both injured, we will attack and slaughter them all to purify the world. The leader waved his hand, and the surrounding space twisted. The formation rose and covered them. Instantly, they were hidden in the void and no one could find them. At this moment, World Head Planet. Suddenly Xiaoping, who was cultivating, opened his eyes, revealing a frightening light. As a cultivator, his instincts made him feel endless danger, as if there was an endless darkness attacking him. Deep just then his communicator rang. It was the person in charge of the various underworld organizations. Xiaoping turned on his communicator, and a dozen figures were projected. Sir Yang, this is bad. Within a light year of Jieshou Star, a large fleet has appeared. My initial guess is that it is the Red Scarf Bandits' forces. They have come out in full force. Someone shouted in fear. There was a powerful detection system installed on the Jieshou Star that could observe a radius of hundreds of light years. Thus, when the Red Scarf Bandits' fleet appeared, they were immediately discovered. In reality, the Red Scarf Bandits had no intention of hiding their tracks. They came openly and openly. They wanted to instantly destroy all the factions on World Head Star. According to the prediction, in another hour, the Red Scarf Thief will reach Jieshou Star. Master Yang, what should we do now? Everyone was panicking and trembling. The Red Scarf Thief was like a tree's shadow. Don't think that they were an underworld family that did all sorts of evil things. But compared to the Red Scarf Thief, they paled in comparison. It was like the difference between a country bumpkin and a regular army. When the Red Scarf Thief was invincible, massacring planets and looting, they were still playing in the mud. In terms of strength, they could not be mentioned in the same breath. One could totally imagine their fear of the Red Scarf Thief. Not to mention, the Red Scarf Thief had come out in full force, looking like they were going to destroy them all. Thus, how could they not feel fear and even panic? What else can we do? Let's fight to the death with them. Xiaoping said indifferently. Even if we surrender now, they won't accept it. They sent all their fleets over, and shed all pretense of cordiality with Heaven and Earth faction. They didn't just come here for sightseeing. He could faintly feel the strong aura and killing intent from the other party. There was absolutely no possibility of compromise. This was the instinctive premonition of the golden crow of hell. Fight to the death. Everyone's face turned green. If they could fight to the death, they naturally didn't want to wait for death. But now, the other party had sent thousands of warships and a universe fortress. Even 5 returning Truth Realm powerhouses came. It was clear that they wanted to kill them. With such powerful strength, even if they wanted to resist, there was no way to talk about it. Sir Yang, immediately inform Heaven and Earth faction, and let them send reinforcements here. At this time, this group of people finally remembered the benefits of Heaven and Earth faction. If Heaven and Earth faction's elders arrived at the World Head Star, presumably the Red Scarf Thief wouldn't dare to act rashly. I have already informed them, but the World Head Star is too far away from Heaven and Earth planet. There are no elders above the Law Phase realm on the nearby planets. Only the headquarter has one. If we want to wait for reinforcements, it is impossible to wait for more than 6 hours. But during this time, they can destroy us dozens of times and then calmly escape. Xiaoping said indifferently. What? Hearing this, everyone's face turned pale. Their legs were trembling. Some timid people were so scared that they directly fell to the ground. Wasn't this the same as death? Although they wanted to blame Xiaoping for being too arrogant and provoking the Red Scarf Thief, the problem was that if they dared to clamor now, they were afraid that they would be killed by Xiaoping before they could even make a move. It wasn't like they hadn't seen the ferocity of this direct disciple of Heaven and Earth faction. Therefore, they could only swallow their dissatisfaction and grievance. They could only blame their bad luck for encountering such a troublemaker. Boom! After half an hour, the huge fleet of the Red Scarf Thief finally reached 30,000 kilometers away from the World Head Star. For the distance in the universe, this was simply close at hand. They would arrive in a few minutes. At this moment, in the Red Scarf Thief's universe fortress, there were many Red Scarf Thief's senior cadres, deputy leaders, and other big shots gathered. Each of them exuded a tyrannical aura and a ferocious expression. Everyone, remember, the main goal this time is to persuade them to surrender. The leader of the Red Scarf Thief, Wuxia, said, "Don't be impulsive and destroy the World Head Star. There are many resources and living beings inside that belong to us. If we sell them, we can eat for a few years. It is enough to make up for all our losses." Although they came here for revenge, at the same time, they also wanted to plunder and obtain wealth. After all, every time the battleship was activated, it required a lot of energy and wealth. This was the so-called one shot of a cannon, 10,000 taels of gold. Chapter 1582. Don't worry, leader. We are familiar with this business. A bunch of gangsters, 1,000 battleships will scare them to death. However, there might be some unruly people among them. Scoff, if they dare to resist, we will kill them all. It's not like we haven't massacred cities before. Many of the Red Scarf bandits laughed cruelly. Their eyes were filled with ferocity and excitement. Every time they plundered something, it was a feast of wealth for them. Leader, there is an unfamiliar signal. It seems to be from the World Head planet. A Red Scarf shouted. Interesting, connect it and see what they want to say. Wuxia laughed coldly. He had victory in his grasp and did not care about wasting time. What else can they say? They are just going to surrender and beg for mercy. That's right, do they dare to resist? Later, we will humiliate that Heaven and Earth sect direct disciple. I really want to see the pitiful appearance of that disciple begging for mercy. Just thinking about it makes me excited. What I love to do the most is to kill geniuses and destroy their future, to make them kneel and beg. It makes me feel like I am killing a future saint. Many of the Red Scarf bandits discussed. They connected to the World Head planet and waited for the people there to surrender. With a beep, the figures of Xiaoping and the others immediately appeared in front of the Red Scarf thieves. Xiaoping stood with his hands behind his back and looked at them. Red Scarf bandits. This is the territory of the World Head planet. Why did you invade for no reason? Are you trying to rebel? Do you know that this is a treacherous crime and your entire family will be wiped out? Put down your weapons, kneel and surrender, kowtow and beg for mercy, hand over your treasures, wives and daughters. Only then will you have a chance to live. If not, there will be no place for you in the universe. He gave an order to the red scarf thieves. What? My ears have been ringing recently. I think I am hallucinating. It is fine if this kid doesn't want to surrender, but he actually wants us to kneel and hand over our treasures. Some bandits suspected that there was something wrong with their ears. They were the Red Scarf Bandits, elites, thousands of battleships and a space fortress. Such a military force was enough to destroy tens of planets. What did the World Head planet have? It was just a few Golden Core Realm Masters, and some weapon systems. They could instantly destroy such a military force, turning it into a beehive. There would be nothing left. With just this bit of strength, he actually dared to clamor, and asked them to kneel and surrender. They all thought that this kid was completely crazy. There's nothing wrong with your ears. That's what the kid said. Fuck 18 generations of his grandpa. Who does he think he is? Is he the sect master of the Qingquan sect? Victory is within his grasp. Doesn't he know who's the boss now? The group of Red Scarf Bandits were furious. Even if they were beaten to death, they would never have thought that they would not be able to intimidate the other party, even after coming out in full force. Instead, the other party would try to persuade them to surrender. Now who is the real invader? The leader of the Red Scarf Bandits, Wuan, waved his hand. He stared at Xia Ping and said, "You are the direct disciple of the Heaven and Earth sect, Yangbu, right? You are merely at the initial stage of the Golden Core realm, yet you were actually able to kill and injure 7 high-ranking cadres of my Red Scarf Bandits, as well as the heads of 7 underworld clans. This combat strength is indeed extraordinary. In the future, you might even have the chance to advance to the Lightning Tribulation realm. Unfortunately, aptitude is aptitude and strength is strength. There are countless monstrous geniuses in this universe, and there are many who perish along the way. Geniuses who don't grow up are merely ants. If you obediently ran away, maybe I would look up to you. But now, you actually don't even run away. You don't even understand the situation. This is really disappointing. I didn't expect you to be such an idiot." He revealed a disappointed look. "Who do you think you are? You are just a bandit who is being hunted down and hiding everywhere. Do I need you to look up to me?" Xia Ping glanced sideways and looked at Wuan in disdain. "Shut up." A high-ranking cadre of the Red Scarf Bandits shouted angrily, "Reckless dog. How can the leader be insulted by a bastard like you? Seems like this bastard won't shed tears until he sees the coffin. I suggest that we don't kill him later. Capture him alive, and let him suffer a life worse than death torture. The kind that he will never forget." His body emitted a terrifying killing intent as he stamped with rage. These people are probably the high-level leaders of the World Head Star's underworld families. This kid doesn't know what's good for him. Don't you know? Wuan said. Now that you know the situation, I can give you a chance to live. Immediately kill this young Budong, and offer his head to the Red Scarf Bandits. Then you can live. If you dare to stand on this kid's side, you are courting death. You are the enemy of the Red Scarf Bandits. Then even if you become a ghost, it is not up to you. Choose for yourself. He was openly sowing dissension between Xia Ping and the many elders of the underworld. If the two sides fought because of his words, it would probably weaken the strength of both sides and reduce the help for them to conquer the World Head Star. It was killing many birds with one stone. This was an overt plot, using power to oppress people. Shut up, old dog Wu. You are actually sowing dissension here. We are all loyal to Master Yang. You and old dog can drive a wedge between us. At this time, an elder of the underworld jumped out and scolded Wuan. That's right. You still want to drive a wedge between us. What a joke. Who doesn't know that the World Head Star is united and will not separate even in death? It's just death. 18 years later, we will still be heroes. That's right. You want to use death to threaten us? Acting as if we have never killed before. I have long thought that this day would come. I don't care about life and death. Come if you have the guts. I will break even if I kill one. Killing two is a profit. I am just afraid that you will not dare to come. One by one, the underworld bosses jumped out and expressed their loyalty to Xia Ping. At the same time, they scolded the Red Scarf Bandits. Damn! These words stunned the Red Scarf thieves. They knew the habits of this group of underworld gangsters. Betrayal and murder were already a habit for them. Loyalty was nothing to them. Betrayal was their daily behavior. But now each and every one of them was so loyal to Xia Ping that they were willing to die for him. This was a little too exaggerated, wasn't it? How did they become so righteous after not seeing each other for a period of time? This world was changing too quickly. Many of the underworld bosses were extremely sullen. They felt bitter in their hearts. If they could betray him, they would have done so long ago. But when Xia Ping subdued them, he had already placed slave chips on them. If they dared to have any other thoughts, he would immediately detonate the chip bomb and blow them up. If they went against the Red Scarf Bandits, they might have a chance of survival. But if they went against Xia Ping, they would definitely die. Chapter 1583. Hearing these words, Red Scarf leader Wuan's face turned as black as charcoal. This was clearly a slap to his face. Not only was it useless to sow discord, but he was also ridiculed. As the leader of the Red Scarf Thieves, he could not bear such humiliation. Good, very good. Wuan said coldly. I gave all of you a way to live, but you did not cherish it. Then don't blame me. Soon, I will arrive at the World Head Star and kill you all. He was really angry, unprecedentedly angry. This was the first time in his life that he wanted to kill someone so much. The killing intent in his heart was boiling, almost condensing into a substance. No need to rush, I will kill you myself. Xia Ping said indifferently, looking at Wuan and the others. What? The Red Scarf Thieves did not laugh, because even through the virtual projection, they could feel the terrifying pressure, as if they were facing an ancient fierce beast. Leader, this is bad. A ship suddenly appeared 10,000 miles away, and it is heading towards us. One of the Red Scarf Bandits immediately shouted. Their detection system had detected the sudden appearance of a spaceship. How can it be so fast? Everyone was shocked. Xia Ping was clearly on the World Head Star just now, but now he actually appeared near them. What kind of ship was this? Its speed was actually so fast. And this ship was the Saint-class ship Stars. So, Xia Ping flew out of Stars and appeared in a vacuum environment. Originally, he could not survive in a vacuum environment. He had to be at least at the returning True Realm. But after advancing to the Golden Core Realm, his control of the Mountain River Pearl had increased. Using the power of the Mountain River Pearl, he could immediately release a ball of energy to wrap around his body, forming a unique aura, causing an air shield to appear around his body, so he could breathe freely in a vacuum. And this energy shield could isolate all kinds of harmful energy rays in a vacuum state, protecting his body, which also gave him the ability of a returning True Realm expert. Impossible! Isn't he just at the Golden Core Realm initial stage? How can he survive in a vacuum? You must be joking. The Red Scarf Thieves were all dumbfounded. They saw Xia Ping step by step from afar, getting closer and closer. Magic treasure. This is the power of a magic treasure. He has a magic treasure that allows him to fight in a vacuum state. This is nothing to be surprised about. It's just a small trick. Wuan sneered and remained unmoved. What is this guy trying to do? He's actually walking over empty-handed. Could it be that he wants to deal with all of our battleships by himself? Someone stared at the screen, observing Xia Ping's actions. It's impossible. Even if this brat is stupid, there should be a limit to his stupidity. Doesn't he know that this kind of behavior is called courting death? A red scarf man sneered. He felt that this speculation was a bit of a joke. However, one of the red scarf elites cried out in fear. No, that's not right. He wants to deal with all of our ships alone. Damn it, dodge quickly. That brat is making his move. What? Before they could react, Xia Ping instantly attacked. His fist was surrounded by countless lightning bolts, like tiny lightning dragons. They quickly gathered together and condensed into a lightning spear. Martial Path mystical ability, Lightning Fist. With a boom, the thunder spear was blasted out in an instant. It streaked across the dark and silent starry sky like a bright light, as if it had torn the dark curtain into two halves. It flickered with eternal light in the endless starry sky. Dong! In the next second, a battleship near Xia Ping was pierced by the thunder spear. A huge hole appeared on the hull of the battleship like a piece of paper. The mica steel and other materials were rapidly melted by the lightning. The Red Scarf bandits inside the battleship didn't have time to react. Because the thunder spear had pierced through the core of the battleship, the entire battleship exploded. Boom! In an instant, the battleship exploded into pieces, bursting into dazzling sparks like a fireball. All the parts of the battleship were torn apart. The Red Scarf bandits inside the battleship were also quickly killed. Not even their bones were left. Bastard, how dare he do this? Blast him to death. Immediately activate the battleship's laser cannons and lock onto his aura. Blast him into pieces. Since he is really courting death, we will fulfill his wish. The Red Scarf bandits were enraged by Xia Ping's arrogant actions. They quickly activated the battleship's weapon system and aimed all the cannons at Xia Ping, locking onto his aura. Infernal golden crow wings. With a boom, a pair of dark golden wings that were tens of meters long grew from Xia Ping's back. The wings were formed from flame runes and emitted an ancient, noble, and chaotic aura. He stood in the vacuum like an ancient god from ancient times. Flames dripped down from his wings and instantly turned into raging flames. It was as if the flames were going to burn holes in the void. This feeling. Xia Ping closed his eyes and wantonly spread his wings. He felt an unprecedented feeling, because he had never flown in a vacuum before. But now that he used the infernal golden crow wings, he felt as if he was a fish in the sea. The endless void transmitted energy into each feather, continuously increasing the power of the infernal golden crow wings. Swish, 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 swish. In an instant, the laser cannons of more than 1,000 battleships shot over at the same time. Hundreds of thousands of energy rays shot over, interweaving into a huge net of death that destroyed everything. But Xia Ping's heart was very calm like an ancient pond, without any ripples. The infernal golden crow wings on his back flapped lightly, and he instantly left his original spot. His speed surpassed hundreds or thousands of times the speed of sound. At this moment, he was like a Kuan Peng that blended into the void. No power could capture his aura. Within the range of his divine sense, these energy rays were unbelievably slow, as if they were moving in slow motion. He could easily dodge them. Even though there were hundreds of thousands of energy rays shooting over, they couldn't capture Xia Ping's figure at all. He was like a Kuan Peng that could escape into another dimension at any time. He felt that his understanding of the infernal golden crow's wings had risen to another level, and that was freedom, unrestrained freedom. Nothing could restrain the wings. Wherever his thoughts went, his wings would go. Kill! Xia Ping's figure flashed and appeared in front of a battleship of the Red Scarf bandits. He didn't make any movements and just charged towards the battleship. Bang! 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 In the next second, the battleship was torn in half like a piece of paper. At this moment, the wings on his back seemed to have turned into flaming blades. They were indestructible and easily tore apart the shell of the battleship. Under the flames of the infernal golden crow, any metal would be melted. Chapter 1584. Peng Peng Peng. Xia Ping relied on his pair of hell golden crow wings. Like a ghost in space, he constantly dodged the energy rays and instantly appeared in front of the battleships. Those energy rays could not hit him, but he could easily tear the battleships apart. Every time he appeared in front of a battleship, that battleship would be torn apart and explode on the spot. Even if some people did not die when the battleship was destroyed, they were not returning true realm experts, and did not have treasures like the Mountain River Pearl, so they could not survive in a vacuum. Thus, the powerful Red Scarf bandits all died in a vacuum state. This was the cruelty of the universe. It was either life or death. There were very few captives. In just 10 minutes, hundreds of battleships were destroyed. The Red Scarf bandits suffered heavy losses. Ah, kill him! Kill this bastard! He actually destroyed hundreds of our battleships. We cannot live under the same sky. How can we kill him? Our laser cannons cannot deal with him. His speed is too fast. And his size is too small. It is impossible to aim. Compared to him, our battleships are too cumbersome. They are simply targets. we can only be attacked. Many of the Red Scarf bandits gritted their teeth. They were extremely angry. They had never been so sullen before. They could only take the beating, they could not fight back. But there was nothing they could do. The weapon system of the battleship was originally designed to deal with battleships, to deal with humans, especially fast humans. It was too difficult. It was no different from using a cannon to kill a mosquito. Leader, we can't let this continue, and let this brat do whatever he wants. We have to take action, and kill this villain to eliminate future troubles. A vice leader shouted angrily. He couldn't endure it any longer. They had put in a lot of effort for the Red Scarf bandits. Seeing their elites being trampled to death like bugs, they felt their hearts bleeding. To make up for the loss of the battleships this time, God knows how much treasures would be needed. Let's kill this guy. The leader of the Red Scarf bandits, Wuxia, could not sit still. If this continued, all the battleships would be slaughtered by the opponent. At that time, they would be left alone, unable to make up for this loss even in 100 years. So. As soon as he finished speaking, the 5 returning Truth Realm experts of the Red Scarf Bandit made their move. They immediately flew out from the Universe Fortress and instantly appeared in front of Xiaoping to stop him from destroying the battleship. As soon as these 5 people appeared, they immediately exploded with the strength of the returning Truth Realm. Their bodies were surrounded by a mass of energy, as if they had formed an independent space, allowing them to live freely in the vacuum. At the same time, the power of their primordial spirits seeped out, communicating with the universe and forming a formation. The vast void energy in the surroundings surged into their bodies without end. It was as if the 5 of them were not humans but gods. Evil creature, stop. You dare to kill my Red Scarf thief. Die now. The leader of the Red Scarf bandits, Wuxia, shouted angrily. He did not want to talk nonsense with Xiaoping and directly attacked. Martial Path Divine Ability, Heavenly Cries Blood Hand. He struck out with his palm. His palm covered the sky and contained endless martial arts mysteries. It almost enveloped an entire planet, and dense and powerful runes appeared around his palm. Vaguely, the vacuum of tens of thousands of miles was filled with the color of blood. It was as if the sky was crying and dripping blood. It was as if the heavens were crying in grief. It carried a bitter taste, as if it wanted to bury this world. This was the top divine ability that Wuxia possessed. With this divine ability, he had defeated all enemies in all directions, and created an illustrious name for himself. With a single palm strike, the sky and earth were turned upside down. Great Yin-Yang Tablet Smashing Hand. Xiaoping also made his move. In the depths of his consciousness, the Yin-Yang talismans trembled and transmitted endless martial arts mysteries. Yin and Yang currents condensed from the depths of the void. Whoosh! He struck out with his palm. The Yin and Yang energies condensed into a black and white millstone. All kinds of trigrams appeared. Earth, wind, water, fire, water, lightning, heaven and earth. In the end, a picture of nature actually appeared on the giant palm. There were mountains, rivers, valleys, deserts, seas, skies, and so on. All kinds of uncanny workmanship of nature, great talents, and endless good fortune were all within. Yin and Yang rotated, the sun and moon alternated, and all kinds of unimaginable auras were emitted. They appeared on Xiaoping's palm, and instantly attacked Wuxia. The 2 giant palms collided in the void like a comet colliding with the earth. There was an earth-shattering sound and a horrifying shockwave that spread out in all directions, affecting tens of thousands of miles. Along the way, meteorites were shattered into pieces. There were even a dozen battleships that couldn't dodge in time, and were instantly turned into a pile of scrap metal. The Red Scarf bandits inside were all killed and turned into dust. If they were to fight on the planet, the entire planet would probably be destroyed. After the 2 of them collided, they both retreated a few kilometers. Impossible. Wuxia's eyes revealed a glimmer of light, as he revealed a look of disbelief. Your martial arts realm is only at the intermediate stage of the Golden Core realm. You are 1 level stronger than the information says, but you are still only at the Golden Core realm. But now, you are actually able to exchange a palm strike with me, who is at the intermediate stage of the returning Truth realm. And you aren't even at a disadvantage. A golden core realm like you is simply unheard of. You are definitely not an ordinary legacy disciple. Tell me, what is your identity? He had a deep suspicion about Xia Ping's identity. With such powerful combat strength, he was definitely not an ordinary person. Such a powerful cultivator wasn't famous at all, and had never been heard of before. No matter how he thought about it, it was a strange thing. Leader, there is no need to guess. I already know his true identity, the deputy leader said. That palm strike just now should be the legendary Great Yin Yang tablet breaking palm. Qingquan Sect's ultimate technique, Qingquan Sage's specialty. It has been lost for tens of thousands of years. It is said that there is only one person who inherited this martial arts recently, and that is Dark North Sage's disciple Xia Ping. If I didn't guess wrongly, this guy is Xia Ping. Yangbu is just his fake identity. His eyes revealed a glimmer of light. He was the brain of the Red Scarf Bandits. He had a lot of information, and could be said to be knowledgeable. In just a few breaths of time, he saw many tricks in Xia Ping's martial arts. Xia Ping. Wu En's body trembled. He had obviously heard of the name of this Dark North Sage's disciple. Back then, this matter shook the nearby dozens of star fields, and was known by countless major forces. As the leader of the Red Scarf Bandits, it was impossible for him not to pay attention to it. It can't be. I remember that 2 years ago, this Xia Ping had just joined the Qingquan sect, and became a sage's disciple. At that time, he was only at the Purple Mansion realm. Now after just 2 years, he has advanced to the intermediate stage of the Golden Core realm. This is ridiculous. Chapter 1585. The other vice leaders also didn't dare to believe this matter, because advancing from the Violet Palace realm to the Gold Core realm, in a short few years, was truly too fast. It had to be known that if they wanted to advance to their current realm, they would at least spend more than 1,000 years. Moreover, this kind of advancement speed was very fast. They had suffered a lot, and spent a lot of resources. No one knew better than them how difficult cultivation was. But compared to this kid, they felt that it was extremely unfair. I thought he was just a small character, but I didn't expect to catch a big fish. Wu En's eyes were filled with ferocity and excitement. A genius like this kid with shocking aptitude and a monstrous physique. If we sell him, he'll definitely be worth a city. He's not inferior to a supreme treasure. That's for sure. He's the disciple of a sage. It's extremely rare. Who knows how many people in the demonic path want to capture him for research, let alone a monstrous genius with such a fast cultivation speed. Since we're going to offend the Qingquan sect anyway, we might as well kill an important character. The heavens are really helping us, the Red Scarf Bandits. I didn't expect to capture such an important character. The heavens have eyes. Capture him alive. Immediately capture this kid alive. But even if he's a monstrous genius, he shouldn't improve so quickly. This doesn't make sense. There's nothing strange about this. There are countless mysteries in this world. Some secret realms have a different flow of time compared to other places in the universe. Sometimes a day has passed here, but a year has passed in those secret realms. So that's how it is. That kid probably entered a secret realm where the flow of time is extremely fast and cultivated for hundreds of years. That's why he seems to improve so quickly. In reality, he's an old monster who has lived for hundreds of years. Now that I think about it, it makes much more sense. I was wondering how someone could be so monstrous. It doesn't matter if he really entered a world where the flow of time is extremely fast or not. In any case, this kid is our prey. We definitely can't allow him to escape. The 4 vice leaders were all incomparably excited. They looked at Xia Ping like they were looking at a precious commodity. If they could capture this kid, it would be enough to make up for all their losses. So what if they lost hundreds of battleships? A slave of a sage's disciple was enough to make up for everything. Of course, doing this would offend the saints, and make them the mortal enemies of the Qingquan sect. However, the Red Scarf Bandits were people who risked their lives to do business. For money, they dared to do anything. They were only afraid of not earning money. Moreover, the cosmos was so vast. After capturing this brat, they would immediately hide in the Western cosmos. That was the territory of other angels, devils, arhats, Buddhas, and other forces. It wasn't the universe faction's turn to behave atrociously there. Die. The heavens are unfair. And the red scarf must be erected. Wu'an's body was surging with a terrifying aura. The tyrannical aura of the intermediate stage of the returning reality realm burst out. The powerful Yuan spirit power mobilized the power of the void. A profound and complicated array rose from his feet. Boom! His fist smashed out, causing the heavens to shake and the earth to tremble. It was suffused with an iron-blooded aura, as if the heavens were weeping, wailing, and wailing in grief. It possessed an aura that could collapse the heavens and rend the earth, causing cracks to appear in the surroundings. Vaguely, there seemed to be the wailing of gods and demons. Unfair, unfair, how unfair the heavens are. Sorrowful and ancient music played in the surroundings, causing one's heart to tremble. It was as if they had fallen into an ancient battlefield, and there was a feeling that the heavens and earth were about to collapse. The leader is actually going all out, executing the ultimate profound of the heavens' weeping blood hand. Heaven is unfair. This is a peerless divine ability, and once it is unleashed, the heavens will weep, the earth will rend, and all living beings will be affected. This is a killing move that can destroy everything. Normally, the leader would only execute this move when dealing with experts at the returning reality realm, because the consumption of Yuan spirit is too great. But when facing a golden core realm cultivator, he actually forced the leader to execute the ultimate profound of the heavens' weeping blood hand. Seems like this brat is very extraordinary. Although he is only at the golden core realm, his combat strength is comparable to a supreme expert at the returning reality realm. However, since he has angered the leader, no matter how monstrous this brat is, he will still die. That's right, there are still 4 vice leaders at the side, eyeing him like tigers watching their prey, looking for flaws. He is dead for sure. Many of the Red Scarf bandits were also watching the battle from the side, because they couldn't interfere in a battle of this level. Even if they were to get close, their battleships would be destroyed by the aftershocks of the battle. They could only hide far away. Die. Who is going to die? He is just at the returning reality realm. It's not like I haven't killed one before. Xiaoping's eyes revealed a trace of coldness. He circulated the power of the Golden Crow's bloodline in his body, causing all the blood in his body to boil and erupt like magma. Golden Crow Claw of Hell. He slapped out with his claw. The flames condensed into a giant claw that covered the sky and earth, twisting the heaven and earth, tearing apart the yin and yang. The surrounding energy strangled and contained endless sharpness. After advancing to the middle stage of the Golden Core realm, his bloodline was even more concentrated. The power of the Golden Crow Claw of Hell was also 30% more terrifying than before. Dark golden flames spread out, burning the void. Faintly, this sharp claw actually emitted a terrifying sharpness. It condensed into a substance, growing nails that were pale gold in color like divine weapons. When this claw slapped down, it had the sharp power to capture gods and demons. It sealed the void. What kind of mystical ability is this? The one who felt it the most was the leader of the Red Scarf Bandits, Wuan. He felt that this claw seemed to be grabbing the heaven and earth. Even his Yuan spirit was trembling, stirring up the wind and clouds, destroying the world. He felt like he was a small boat in the wind and clouds. He could be destroyed at any time. Dong! This claw slapped down, bombarding Wuan's fist. The array under his feet was instantly torn apart. Endless magic power was crazily twisting and spinning, emitting a boundless mystery. As for the fist, it was smashed to the point of collapsing and disintegrating everywhere. Wuan let out a miserable cry. His chest was hit by the claw, and his entire body was sent flying. He could not help but spit out a mouthful of blood. His internal organs had suffered significant injuries. So strong. The 4 deputy leaders were indescribably shocked. How terrifying was this claw? It was like a primordial divine bird had walked out from the ancient times. It revealed its sharpness, shocking the ages and destroying time and space. Under this claw, they felt the fear of their Yuan spirit collapsing. They were unable to resist it. Wuan, Who do you think you are? You are just a thief who hides everywhere, a stray dog. You want to capture me as a slave? Have you ever weighed your own capabilities? Just based on your words, I will make you suffer a fate worse than death today. I will completely destroy you. Xiaoping looked down at Wuan and the others indifferently, sentencing them to death. His dark golden claw stretched across the void, suppressing the heaven and earth. Behind him, a primordial divine bird appeared. Its ferocious might overflowed into the sky, as if it had walked out from the ancient times and was born from chaos. These words were like the words of gold and jade, affecting the heaven and earth. They turned into sound waves that shook the surroundings and seeped into the Yuan spirit. Chapter 1586. Attack! Attack immediately and kill this brat. Hearing these words, Wuan roared. He wanted the 4 deputy leaders to attack at the same time and kill Yi Futian. Because as Xiaoping said these words, the aura on his body actually rose steadily. His strength was actually increasing at a speed visible to the naked eye, continuously becoming stronger. It could be imagined that this brat was clearly using battle to nurture battle, using them as stepping stones to sharpen his martial arts. If this continued, they would not be able to be Xiaoping's opponent. They had to take advantage of the fact that this brat's aura had not reached its peak state to eliminate him completely. Die! Take my sword, soaring dragon 9-style sword. A deputy leader roared angrily. He pulled out a 3 feet long sword and slashed out. Sword chi crisscrossed, splitting the heavens and earth. It was as if a flying dragon had soared into the sky and let out a roar. In the dark starry sky, this sword chi was like a dragon, containing the might of a dragon, causing people to tremble in fear. It was as if it wanted to swallow an entire planet, its ferocity matchless. This was a sword divine ability created by a grandmaster of the sword. He had once used this sword technique to chop down a flying dragon with a single strike. Its power was boundless, and the sword chi was swift and fierce, indestructible. Although the other party had not fully displayed this sword technique, it still contained a trace of the might of a dragon. Wind Thunder Fan. Another deputy leader also attacked. A purple fan that was completely jade-like appeared in his hand. There were densely packed rune formations engraved on it. This was a high-grade spirit weapon, Wind Thunder Fan. He lightly fanned, and a heaven and earth formation appeared. There was wind and thunder energy in the depths of the formation, constantly entangling together, turning into a wind and thunder dragon. Roar! The dragon formed by the wind and thunder energy roared and pounced towards Xiaoping. The surrounding thunder crackled, resounding through the void, containing an extremely strong destructive power. Along the way, huge meteors were blasted into smithereens. They couldn't stop this force at all, not even for a second. 5 Poison Flag. Another deputy leader took action, bringing out a flag that was completely black, as if it was formed from venom. There seemed to be poisonous scorpions, snakes, insects, centipedes, jellyfishes, and other peerless poisonous mists appearing inside. This was a high-grade spirit artifact, a demonic path spirit artifact. It was forged by absorbing 5 kinds of strange poisons in the world and smelting countless rare materials. Its power was tyrannical. In the past, when this demonic artifact moved, the war flag would flutter even though there was no wind. It would immediately emit a monstrous poisonous gas that covered tens of thousands of kilometers. Wherever the poisonous gas went, people and animals would die. Crash! The deputy leader channeled his dermic powers. With a ferocious look on his face, he activated the 5 poison flag. Wisps of poison chi emerged from his body, forming poison chi talismans that merged with the void and turned into a black fog. In the blink of an eye, the black mist shrouded Xiaoping completely. Fire Lion Spear. The last deputy leader roared. He held a red spear in his hand, and his hair was disheveled. He was like a mad lion, and his aura was like a rainbow as he attacked with his spear. Immediately, in the depths of the void, endless flames gathered and transformed into a fire lion. It roared at the sky and produced a terrifying sound wave that spread at a speed visible to the naked eye. This attack did not only contain the power of flames, but it also contained the power of vibrations. Its destructive power was extremely terrifying. Many meteorites that came into contact with it were immediately shattered into dust and no longer existed. Die! Wuan did not want to be outdone. Although he had been injured by Xia Ping, it was not a fatal injury. He still had the ability to fight Xia Ping. He punched out fiercely. The light from his fist shot out in all directions like a divine light, piercing through the void. The power of this punch was actually 30% stronger than before. Its power was boundless. Immediately, the entire void shook, the stars shook, and the dermic powers twisted, forming a torrent. A firefly dares to compete with the moon? Xia Ping was neither happy nor sad. It was as if he was not facing 5 powerhouses of the returning truth realm, but 5 ordinary warriors. He performed a spell with both hands and circulated his dermic powers. Suddenly, dark golden runes appeared in the depths of the void, like golden crows from hell. They swam in the void and quickly gathered together, forming a huge furnace. Bloodline mystic ability, Furnace of Hell. The furnace was densely covered with dark golden runes. There were countless characters of hell on it, as if it was a record of the history of hell. It emitted a majestic, ancient, and noble aura. These characters of hell even swam around the furnace like evil dragons from hell. They twisted and writhed as if they were alive, and filled with the aura of hell. Boom! In the blink of an eye, the 5 powerhouses of the returning truth realm attacked at the same time. Their power instantly bombarded the furnace of hell, and was instantly swallowed up by it. It was like a stone falling into the sea. There was only a slight ripple, and then it disappeared without a sound. At the same time, the furnace of hell exploded with the power of flames and vibrations, causing ripples to appear in the void. This destructive power swept in all directions, and Wuan and the others were sent flying, coughing up blood on the spot. Impossible! What kind of mystic ability is this? A mere Golden Elixir Realm Junior can actually withstand the combined attack of 5 powerhouses of the returning truth realm. Even a sacred mystic ability can't do this. Who are you? Who are you? A deputy leader coughed up blood, and couldn't help but shout, extremely shocked. He couldn't accept this truth. 5 powerhouses of the returning truth realm joined forces, and still couldn't kill this junior. This situation was simply unimaginable. Even if he was beaten to death, he would never have thought that such a thing would actually happen. Wuan and the others were inexplicably shocked, and couldn't recover for a long time. Who am I? Do you think you have the right to know? Even the god of the underworld doesn't have the right. Xia Ping's body flickered, and a pair of hell crow wings appeared on his back. In an instant he arrived in front of the deputy leader, and punched out. Instantly, the stars trembled, and the terrifying power of hell gathered in the center of his fist. Countless characters of hell swam, twisted, and seemed to be absorbing the power of hell from the void, and communicating with the plane of hell. No, 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 spare me, spare my dog life. I am willing to be your dog, your dog. The deputy leader screamed in terror. He felt that he was on the verge of death, and his entire body's aura was locked down. Facing this punch that seemed to come from the god of hell, he couldn't block it at all. He tried to beg for mercy. He was a powerhouse of the returning truth realm, and his future was limitless. He had a long life, and maybe in the future, he would have a chance to peek at the sage realm. He didn't want to die so tragically. It's too late. Xia Ping's voice sounded out, ethereal, and penetrated people's hearts, like the god of hell's decree. Chapter 1588. Summoning Wind and Rain Array? I didn't expect you to have such a trump card. Xia Ping raised his eyebrows. Even though he was extremely confident, he could feel the threat of this array. If they fought on the planet at this time, it was not impossible to know how many areas would be destroyed. It was not impossible for the entire planet to be blown up. It had to be said that the power of this array was really powerful. It could communicate with the dimensional space, and summon the first wood evil water, and the 8th metal gang wind. These 2 forces were the nemesis of many warriors. In fact, this was also the ability of the returning nature realm cultivators. After condensing the spirit, they could perceive the endless dimensional space, absorb the huge energy of the dimensional space, and take it as their own. And the more powerful the spirit of the cultivator, the more terrifying they could perceive. The deeper the dimensional space, the more dimensional energy they could mobilize. But do you think you can kill me like this? Today, I will tell you how powerless your resistance is, and how incompetent you are. Xiaoping sneered. He took out a magic weapon from his body, the sacred weapon Mountain River Pearl. Boom! He operated his magic power, infused it, and threw the pearl out. Immediately, a huge scroll emerged, spanning across the void, covering a radius of tens of thousands of kilometers. This scroll contained 100,000 mountains, millions of rivers, countless valleys, plains, ravines, deserts, and so on. It was as if a world had been projected, and everywhere was filled with the aura of the world. Every trace on it seemed to be a mark of the Tao, confirming the void, containing an extremely powerful aura. This was the array inside the Mountain River Pearl, Mountain River Map. What magic weapon is this? Wuwen and the others also sensed the magical treasure that Xiaoping had tossed out. They were indescribably shocked. They could sense that the scroll contained an endless amount of power. It was all-encompassing, as though an entire plane of existence was bombarding down upon them. This kind of power was not comparable to a spiritual weapon at all. It was at least a sacred weapon. Damn, it's impossible. How can this kid have a magic weapon of this level? A sacred weapon? A Gold Core Jr. also has a sacred weapon. It's too exaggerated. It's too much. A deputy leader couldn't believe his eyes. He was so jealous that his intestines were green. He had lived for so long, but he had not even seen a shadow of a sacred weapon. But now a Golden Core Jr. had obtained a sacred weapon. Why was this world so unfair? Walala, at this moment, the Mountain River map unfolded, instantly covering the void of tens of thousands of kilometers, covering everything, and suddenly wrapping up the first wood evil water and the eighth metal gale. It produced a powerful devouring power, and swallowed the two powers in an instant, taking them for its own. And the aura of the Pearl of Mountains and Rivers was also increasing at a speed visible to the naked eye. Everywhere was filled with the aura of the first wood evil water, and the eighth metal astral wind. It seemed that these two forces not only did not harm the Pearl of Mountains and Rivers, but were also increasing its strength and healing its injuries. Even in the internal space of the Mountain River Pearl, thanks to the energy of the first wood evil water and the eighth metal gang wind, the continents were rapidly increasing in size, the rivers were widening, the oceans were surging, and the density of the spiritual qi had doubled. Xiaoping could also feel that the beat of mountains and rivers seemed to be constantly repairing the core formation. Obviously, the two pure energies of the first wood evil water and the eighth metal astral wind had a great effect on repairing the beat of mountains and rivers. Fuck me. This bastard is actually swallowing our first wood evil water and eighth metal astral wind to increase the power of his magic weapon. What kind of magic treasure is it? It can actually devour the power of the heavenly tribulation like the first wood evil water and the eighth metal gale. Isn't it afraid of eating too much? This is a magic treasure that seems to be a sacred weapon. It's not impossible for it to devour these two powers. We can't continue activating the wind and rain summoning array. If this continues, we'll be helping the enemy to become stronger. Run. We can't kill this kid now. We've already delayed for too long. Maybe the Qingquan sect's elder is on the way. We can't continue to delay. Wuwen and the others' faces were as black as charcoal. Not only did their trump card have no effect on this kid, but it also strengthened the enemy. It was too despicable. They quickly removed the wind and rain summoning array, closed the black hole in the dimensional space, and stopped the first wood evil water and the eighth metal gale to prevent the enemy from strengthening. To be honest, even if they died, they couldn't let this bastard have it easy. In the distance, many angels saw this scene and their eyes lit up. Very good, this is a great opportunity. The leader of the angels shouted angrily. Immediately activate the angel purification array and capture all these sinners in one fell swoop. We'll completely eradicate them and return the universe to a world of boundless light. He saw the flaws of Xiaoping and the red scarf bandits. This was the moment when they were the least vigilant. One of them had victory in his grasp and wanted to chase after the enemy, while the other wanted to flee. Without a doubt, none of them would have imagined that there would be people lying in ambush behind them. This was the best chance for them to make their move. Kill! The many angels shouted angrily. They spread out in the surroundings and activated the angel purification array. They stood on different nodes of the array and chanted angelic hymns. Their bodies emitted a holy white light that pierced through the void. It was as if all the darkness in the starry sky had been dispersed, transforming into a world of pure white light. The white wings on their bodies spread out, and each feather contained holy energy. They were like the purest and flawless existences in this world, not allowing any evil to exist. With the chanting of these angels, the array formation that had been lying in ambush in the void of the universe immediately rose. The meteorites hidden in the depths of the void turned into the array formation nodes, shooting out beams of white light that intertwined with each other, forming a profound and complicated array formation. In an instant, a tyrannical angelic energy descended from the sky and enveloped Xiaoping, Wuan, and the other red-scarfed bandits. The entire world turned into a white world. It was extremely dazzling. Who is it? Which bastard is sneaking an attack? Wuan and the others were shocked and furious. They never expected that someone would sneak an attack at this moment. Furthermore, it was aimed at their weakest moment. They could feel how terrifying this array was. The white light seemed to be able to corrode everything. When it shone on their bodies, they felt like they were about to be burned and turned into ashes. Foolish humans, the mantis stalks the cicada, unaware of the oriole behind. You didn't expect this, did you? Sinners like you should be exterminated. All of you can go to hell. A holy voice rang out in all directions. Chapter 1589. Bang Bang Bang. The first to suffer were the thousands of Red Scarf Pirates' battleships and a space fortress. They were instantly pierced by the white light. The Red Scarf Pirates inside let out miserable screams as their bodies evaporated under the white light. It was as if they had ascended to heaven. In just a short moment, these ordinary Red Scarf thieves were all dead. Not a single one was left. No, no, no. Wuan and the others screamed in horror. Seeing their years of hard work destroyed, they hated these angels to the extreme. They stared at them with their eyes wide open and tried to resist. But it was too late. The huge angel held the scepter and tapped it lightly. Countless rays of white light descended and turned into a rain of light that covered the starry sky. Ah! Wuan and the others let out miserable screams. In an instant, their bodies were blasted into mincemeat, and their primordial spirits were destroyed. They were clearly dead. The dignified leader of the Red Scarf Pirates and many of the higher-ups had committed all kinds of crimes. They had been free and unfettered for thousands of years, evading the pursuit of countless people. They didn't expect to die here. They were killed on the spot. At this moment, Xiaoping stood in place and activated the North Protective Technique. Countless layers of energy shields appeared on his body and kept flowing. The surrounding white light tried to corrode, but was blocked. He seemed to be an existence independent of this white world, unique. Angels. Xiaoping stood with his hands behind his back and looked curiously at the dozens of angels that suddenly appeared. He said, "Thank you for coming from afar to help us eliminate these interstellar pirates. I'm very grateful." This was the second time he saw angels. After all, he had the Mountain River Pearl and the girl from the angel race. However, seeing so many angels at once gave him a great sense of novelty. Moreover, he had cultivated the angels hymn before and was a little familiar with the power of angels. Unfortunately, this technique was incomplete and only allowed him to learn a little. "Thank." An angel sneered. "Don't be too grateful because you will die here today, just like those Red Scarf Pirates." His face revealed a sinister and murderous expression. "Wanna kill me? I don't think I have any enmity with you angels. This is the first time we met. Why do you want to kill me?" Xiaoping raised his eyebrows and looked at the group of angels. "I can't kill you without enmity? Stupid humans. Do I need a reason to kill you?" The other angel's eyes were filled with disdain as he sneered. It wouldn't be a pity no matter how many of you lowly and filthy humans die. It's no different from stepping on ants. He looked at Xia Ping with an emotionless gaze. From what you've said, it seems there's nothing to talk about? Xia Ping said lightly. Talk my ass. What qualifications does a puny human have to talk to us? An angel scolded. I feel disgusted living in the same universe as lowly humans like you. Cut the crap. Kill this human. I can sense a powerful aura rushing over from afar. It might be the reinforcements from the Qingquan faction. This fellow is probably stalling for time. Despicable humans indeed. You're about to die, yet you're still trying to buy time. Kill his soul in an instant, but don't harm his body. I want to refine this body into a powerful battle puppet. He will be enslaved by the angel race for the rest of his life. Don't worry, Captain. We're all too familiar with this sort of thing. Under the angelic purification array, no matter how powerful that bastard is, he won't be able to escape death. Just wait for the show. Be completely purified, sinful human. The many angels laughed coldly, and their eyes shone with a savage light. They looked at Xia Ping, as if they were looking at a dead person. As soon as they finished speaking, they didn't waste any more words with Xia Ping. They immediately acted and activated the angelic purification array, raising the might of the array to the extreme. Boom! Immediately, within the range of the array, streams of white light blasted over. They interweaved together, as if wanting to purify all the impure existences in this world. Xia Ping narrowed his eyes. He could sense how terrifying this white energy was. It was extremely exclusive, corrosive, and highly condensed. Just by staying in this array, he felt as if his soul was about to be purified and turned into nothingness. The magic power that permeated the surroundings was turned into nothingness under this white light. It was rapidly corroded and emitted sizzling sounds, as if he was bathing in sulfuric acid. This is the energy of the angel race? It's really powerful. A gleam flashed in Xia Ping's eyes. He finally understood why the angel race was so famous in the Western cosmos. They were known as a race of gods. Just this special characteristic of power was enough to kill all low-level races. They could be said to be invincible among those of the same level. He stood where he was and didn't move. He quietly comprehended this pure white energy. Damn it, what kind of protective technique did this guy cultivate? Even the angelic purification array's purification light can't kill him. He's even blocked it. The many angels couldn't believe it. They had thought that the purification light alone would be enough to kill this damned human. They didn't expect him to be unharmed. Use the sound of destruction immediately and kill him. The leader of the angels made a prompt decision. He decided to activate the deepest level of the array's power and instantly destroy this human. The many angels nodded and activated their angelic power to activate the array. Boom! In an instant, the array was activated. Indistinctly, endless white energy gathered to form a war horn. Densely packed angelic runes were engraved on it. They appeared holy and pure, and contained terrifying power. Buzz, buzz! Immediately, the angels activated this war horn, emitting a terrifying sound wave energy. With the war horn as the center, a circle of destructive sound waves spread out, covering tens of thousands of kilometers. Along the way, meteorites were destroyed one after another. They were instantly destroyed and turned into ashes. Under the destruction of such sound waves, it had the power to destroy the world. What a strong destructive power! Xia Ping was shocked. He felt that even Dark North's protective technique couldn't resist such destructive power. The 108 layers of energy shields on his body collapsed inch by inch. They penetrated the energy layers and were about to invade his body. This kind of array was also extremely powerful. It condensed the energy of dozens of angels. When it broke out in an instant, this destructive power was unparalleled. Even the laser cannon couldn't compare. Dumbo, let's do it. Xia Ping moved his mind and said to Gaia Dumbo to let her personally destroy the array. Yes, brother. With a whoosh, Dumbo jumped out of the Mountain River Pearl's space in an instant. Her small body contained the power of a star. Her physique was tyrannical and unparalleled. Even the nucleus was not comparable. Chapter 1590. Damn it, why is there another person? The sound of annihilation has no effect on her. Where did she come from? When Dumbo appeared, all the angels were shocked. They didn't expect that someone would suddenly appear at this time. Even their sound of annihilation had no effect on this little girl. They instinctively felt that this little girl emitted a great threat, and their hair stood on end. You dare to hurt my brother? Go to hell. Dumbo was very angry. Rumble, she punched out, and the terrible energy of the void of the universe gathered in her fist, forming a killing move. All kinds of chaotic energy condensed into a powerful Tao diagram. In the depths of this Tao diagram, there were billions of creatures that came from ancient times. They were like the ancestors of the ancient times, constantly offering sacrifices, singing, praising their ancestors, and worshipping the gods. An eternal will was born from this fist, causing the void to tremble. It was transmitted to the depths of each angel's soul, and in an instant, they received an endless baptism. It was as if in an instant, they had experienced hundreds of thousands of years, or even millions of years. They had experienced the vicissitudes of the birth, growth, and destruction of the stars. How could a mere angel withstand such a baptism of time? It was as if they had experienced countless reincarnations, and their memories were washed away. In the end, they didn't even know who they were. One by one, the angels let out mournful screams. This was a hysterical sound, as if their souls were being obliterated. Their bodies were also collapsing inch by inch. The original angel purification array was immediately smashed by this punch. The array base collapsed and fell apart, as if the void had collapsed. Countless meteorites around it were shaken into powder. They couldn't help but spit out a large mouthful of blood. Their bodies were shaken to the point that there were countless bloody wounds on them. A large amount of blood flowed out of their bodies, almost turning them into bloody people. That's impossible. Dozens of angels worked together to set up a formation, yet it was shattered by a single punch. I can't accept it, I can't accept it. Why did such a supreme expert appear? Too shameless. You even brought a supreme expert with you to protect yourself. Do you have any shame? Are you so afraid of death? Shameless to the extreme. Human, I look down on you. What kind of hero are you to rely on? We've been lying in ambush for such a long time, waiting for your two forces to fight, waiting for both of you to suffer. Obviously, you're already at the end of your rope, so we should be the real fishermen. Why did you kill us in the end? I can't accept this. Humans, even if we die, we won't let you go. Self-destruct. We will immediately self-destruct and perish together with this human. Even if we die, we must eliminate this human scourge and eliminate a great enemy for our angel race. The angels shouted out one after another, feeling extremely unresigned. They never thought that Xia Ping would have such a trump card, hiding such a terrifying supreme being. In an instant, all of their arrangements were completely destroyed. If he had such a trump card, why didn't he use it just now? If they had seen such a powerful being beside them, they definitely wouldn't have dared to make a move. But now, the supreme being only appeared after they made a move, catching them off guard. He was clearly plotting against them. Originally, they were going to be the fishermen, but they didn't think that they would become the oriole that was being hunted. This kind of contrast made them extremely sullen and crazy. All of them roared out. They were incomparably crazy, and actually wanted to self-destruct and perish together with Xia Ping. The angel race is really crazy, self-destructing at the drop of a hat. A cold light flashed in Xia Ping's eyes. He had once heard that every angel was crazy. Once they were in a desperate situation, they would definitely self-destruct and perish together with their enemies. It was as if they didn't care about their own lives at all. Now it seemed that it was indeed so. But do you think you can get away with it? In front of me, you can't even self-destruct. Xia Ping sneered, stepped forward and punched the void. Martial arts divine ability, Sun God Fist. Immediately, a sun rose in the void. The flames of hell condensed and illuminated the world, illuminating the dark starry sky and forming a world of light. Endless flames burst out like the sun was falling. The surrounding tens of thousands of miles turned into a world of flames. It was as if even the void was burning and collapsing. Wisps of flames seemed to have a life of their own. They turned into small golden crows of hell and flew in all directions, instantly bombarding the bodies of the angels. Ah! The angels immediately let out mournful cries. They originally wanted to self-destruct, but the flames invaded their bodies and instantly burned them. Even their souls were on fire. Under such flames, they were in unbearable pain and couldn't self-destruct at all. In just a few breaths' time, the bodies of these angels turned into torches, burning fiercely. Even their feathers turned into flames and were quickly burned to ashes. Dozens of angels were killed just like that. Even the leader of the angels couldn't escape. What is this? Xiaoping looked carefully and immediately saw that after these angels died, they actually left behind pure white crystals that emitted pure light. One circle after another, it warmed people's hearts. Under the illumination of such white light, even the injuries on their bodies seemed to be recovering rapidly. Good stuff, Xiaoping. When Corinne saw this scene, he immediately shouted, "This is the core of the angel race, angelic crystal. It is said that it contains all the essence of the angel race and the mysterious energy of the angel race. If you swallow enough angelic crystals, you can even refine them into an angel body and turn them into a body of light. Even if you don't want to condense an angel body, just the energy of these angelic crystals is enough to greatly promote your magic power cultivation. It is said that these angelic crystals also hide the deepest mysteries of the angel race. It is precisely because of this that even if many angels die, they won't leave their bodies to the enemy and will all self-destruct. Moreover, if anyone obtains an angelic crystal and the angels find out, they will become the enemy of the angel race and will be chased by the angel race forever. But now there are no witnesses. No one knows that you killed so many angels and obtained angelic crystals, so you can be considered to have made a fortune and obtained a large number of treasures." Corinne's tone was very excited, because angelic crystals were really rare treasures. After all, under the control of the angel race, angelic crystals rarely flowed out, so they were very valuable. Not bad, not bad. Xiaoping was very satisfied and quickly collected the angelic crystals and put them into the space of the mountain river pearl. While you're at it, swallow all the worship fragments. Xiaoping waved his hand and collected the treasures and space rings left behind by the red scarf thieves. There were countless magic treasures and resources inside, but there were also many worship fragments left. Chapter 1591. At this moment on Heaven and Earth Star, many elders gathered together and set up a temporary teleportation formation. "Quick!" Yu Xiujuan said anxiously. "Why is the speed of building the teleportation formation so slow? If something happens to Xiaoping, can you bear the responsibility? Why aren't you speeding up?" He stared at the elders and urged, "Elder, we are already very fast. It takes time to locate the spatial coordinates of World Head Planet." The elder at the side said helplessly. They had already used up all their strength. Yu Xiujuan knew this too, but a few hours had passed. The Red Scarf bandits would definitely have reached World Head Planet and might be on a killing spree. He just hoped that Xiaoping could be smart and not fight to the death with the Red Scarf bandits. It would be best if he could stall for time until their reinforcements arrived. "We have succeeded." Right at this moment, an elder cried out, "Quick, quick, quick! Activate the teleportation formation and teleport to World Head Planet." Yu Xiujuan shouted. The elders immediately stood on the temporary teleportation formation and waited. They were filled with killing intent. Hong! The teleportation formation gave off a huge light and trembled. In the next second, Yu Xiujuan and dozens of Heaven and Earth sect elders disappeared and were teleported to the sky above World Head Planet. "Red Scarf bandits, how dare you invade Heaven and Earth sect's territory? Come out and die." Just as he arrived, Yu Xiujuan shouted. A terrifying aura enveloped the surroundings, trying to find the Red Scarf bandits and kill them. Such a sound wave shook the surroundings and affected the entire planet. But even after he shouted, the surroundings were still quiet. Nothing happened. Yu Xiujuan's old face was a little embarrassed. He felt that he had roared in vain. The surrounding elders also looked at each other and felt that something was wrong. The world head star was too quiet. It did not seem like it had been invaded by the Red Scarf Bandits. There were no signs of war spreading. What's going on? There doesn't seem to be any aura of the Red Scarf Bandits. And World Head Planet doesn't seem to be invaded. Could it be that the intelligence is wrong, and the Red Scarf Bandits didn't come to World Head Planet? An elder blinked his eyes and voiced his conjecture. That's impossible. There's no way the Red Scarf Bandits could hide such a huge commotion. Furthermore, they're interstellar pirates. They're vicious and cruel. There's no way they wouldn't make a move after setting up such a huge formation. According to the personality of these interstellar pirates, they wouldn't be afraid of a saint-class sect. They're just a bunch of desperados. The other elder shook his head. Let's find junior brother Xia first and ask him what's going on, Yu Xiujuan said, feeling that this was a more reliable method. All the elders nodded in agreement. Whoosh. In an instant, they sensed Xia Ping's aura and instantly teleported to the villa where Xia Ping was. Who are you? This is the World Chief Star's territory. Who dares to invade? Do they want to die? Yu Xiujuan and the others had just appeared in the sky above the villa when the surrounding soldiers immediately discovered their presence. All of them angrily shouted, trying to chase away this group of invaders who had suddenly appeared. We are Qingquan faction's elders. Yu Xiujuan revealed their identities and they slowly descended. An elder of the Universe faction. Hearing this, many of the soldiers were shocked and hurriedly apologized. They didn't expect so many important people to appear. Were they the reinforcements this time? They immediately admired Xia Ping. How could the previous Qingquan faction disciples be so capable? Sometimes, when they asked for help, there would be no signal for several months. But now that Xia Ping asked for help, the reinforcements arrived in a few hours. Why was the difference between people so huge? We received a request for help from the World Head Star. It said that the Red Scarf Bandits invaded. But why is it so calm now? Did the Red Scarf Bandits retreat and not invade the World Head Star? Yu Xiujuan voiced out his doubts. No. The soldier shook his head. The Red Scarf Bandits did invade the World Head Star. At that time, thousands of battleships and a universe fortress appeared. The elites of the Red Scarf Bandits were all out. Even the leader appeared. At that time, the World Head Star was in danger and was on the brink of life and death. Many people wanted to escape with their ships, but at that moment, Lord Yangbu stepped forward and fought with them in the dark starry sky. They fought for several hours, causing the sky to collapse and the earth to crack. In the end, the Red Scarf Bandits were all wiped out. All the battleships and the universe fortress were destroyed. Even the leader of the Red Scarf Bandits died in Lord Yangbu's hands. It was a complete victory. His face was filled with respect and admiration. When they heard the news of the Red Scarf Bandits attacking, they thought that they were dead for sure. They didn't expect Xia Ping to turn the tide alone and wipe out all the Red Scarf Bandits. What? You must be joking. Those are the Red Scarf Bandits, and they sent out all their elites. He wiped them out alone. And he's only at the Golden Core realm. How can he fight in a vacuum? Don't joke around. Yu Xiujuan and the others were dumbfounded. It was as if they heard a fantasy story. According to their thoughts, facing the Red Scarf Bandits, Xia Ping wouldn't even be able to escape. But what did they hear? Not only did Xia Ping not escape, he faced them head-on, and even wiped out all the Red Scarf Bandits. It was really ridiculous. Of course it's not a joke. The surveillance system around the World Head Star also recorded the scene of Lord Yang, who fighting with the Red Scarf Bandits. But because the battle was too intense, the surveillance system was destroyed by the aftermath of the battle. Not much was recorded, but even so, we can still see Lord Yangbu's heroic battle. The soldier said proudly. Yu Xiujuan and the others didn't waste any time, and immediately let the soldiers watch the recording. Sure enough, they immediately saw Xia Ping leaving the World Head Star. leaving the spaceship and fighting with the Red Scarf Bandits, and a few returning Truth Realm experts in a vacuum. Unfortunately, the recording stopped when Xiaoping fought with Wuan and the others. As for what happened after that, the surveillance system didn't know because the surrounding surveillance system was destroyed by the aftermath. But even so, they could see through the recording that Xiaoping's combat power was comparable to a returning Truth Realm expert. For a moment they were excited. I didn't expect junior brother Xia to be so powerful. He's only at the Golden Core realm, but he's already comparable to a returning Truth Realm expert. This is the talent of a sage. He displayed invincible combat power at a young age. He's invincible in his generation. Qianquan sect is so lucky to actually recruit such a monstrous disciple. In time, junior brother Xia will definitely become a sage. Yeah, at that time, our Qianquan sect will have 4 sages. We can completely dominate the East universe. Chapter 1592. Of course, no one present knew that Xiaoping had fought with many angels, and even annihilated all of them in the end. Otherwise, this matter would cause even more shock to the many elders. After all, every single warrior of the angel race was extremely terrifying. Their strength far surpassed that of the Red Scarf Bandits. They were an illustrious fighting race in the universe, and they had once shocked an era. By the way, where is Yang Budong now? Yu Xiujuan said Xiaoping's alias, as he didn't want Xiaoping's identity to be exposed for the time being. Master Yang Buping is currently cultivating and recovering from his injuries. He might not be able to come out in a short period of time. After all, he just experienced an extremely tragic battle. The soldier indicated that Xiaoping was in seclusion and couldn't come out yet. Recovering from injuries? Many elders couldn't help but nod their heads. After fighting with so many Red Scarf Bandits, no matter how valiant they were, it was impossible for them to not be injured. It was normal for them to go into seclusion to recover from their injuries. Looks like I won't be able to meet junior brother Xia for the time being. An elder lamented. He knew that once a golden core went into seclusion, it would take at least a month. Sometimes, it was even possible for them to go into seclusion for several months after gaining some insights. Staying in this place was just a waste of time. It's fine. Junior brother Xia will return to the Qianquan sect sooner or later. There's no need for us to disturb junior brother Xia's seclusion, said another elder. Let's go. Yu Xiujuan waved his hand and let the elders leave. Since the Red Scarf Bandits had been eliminated, no other forces would invade World Head Star in a short period of time, so there was no need to worry about Xiaoping's safety. He also got these soldiers to pass on the news that these people had come to help him, saying that they had already come to World Head Planet, but they had come a little late, and the battle had already ended. After Yu Xiujuan and the other elders left, the news of the annihilation of the Red Scarf Bandits instantly spread throughout the Eastern universe. After all, the Red Scarf Bandits were famous interstellar pirates in the Eastern universe. They committed all sorts of crimes, and countless civilians had been harmed by the Red Scarf Bandits. Now the Red Scarf thief was annihilated by a Qianquan sect elite disciple. How could it not attract the attention of everyone? The elders of the various saint-level sects were especially concerned about this matter. Could it be that a monstrous true inheritor had appeared in the Qianquan sect? Could it be that even the Red Scarf Bandits were destroyed? After all, the destruction of the Red Scarf Bandits affected the interests of many factions. At this moment inside the space of the Pearl of Mountain and River, Xiaoping was currently taking inventory of the many treasures that he had obtained from the Red Scarf Bandits. These were the treasures that the Red Scarf Bandits had plundered for 1,000 years. The amount was simply staggering. Master, the Green Ox counted the treasures and said, "This time, we obtained 12 superior-grade spirit artifacts, 107 middle-grade spirit artifacts, 879 inferior-grade spirit artifacts, and countless treasures. Other than that, he had also obtained 173 different types of 10,000-year spirit herbs, 13,379,000-year spirit herbs, and hundreds of thousands of ordinary spirit herbs. All of them were priceless. I don't know where these red scarf bandits managed to plunder so many spirit herbs. With these different types of spirit herbs, we can continue to expand the spirit herb garden. It will save us a lot of effort in collecting spirit herbs. It was very excited, because these spirit medicines were all very difficult to find, and there were many kinds of them. Ordinary alchemy masters would need to spend a lot of time and effort to find them. However, because this group of red scarf bandits plundered everywhere and didn't care about the species, they were able to collect so many of them. Xiaoping was very satisfied with obtaining so many spirit herbs. This group of red scarf bandits were simply giving away money. Other than spirit herbs, there are also a lot of finished medicinal pills. The Green Ox continued. There are 103,500 bottles of yin and yang pills, 134,000 bottles of 5 elemental pills, 156,000 bottles of cloud mist pills, and 200,000 bottles of healing pills. They might have been plundered everywhere. Most importantly, we also found 15 bottles of Earth Spirit pills from these returning Truth Realm cultivators. Earth Spirit pill. Xiaoping's eyes suddenly lit up. The so-called Earth Spirit pill was said to be refined using the Earth Vein Spirit marrow and 49 kinds of 10,000-year spirit herbs. It contained a huge amount of medicinal power. This was a top-grade medicinal pill that many returning Truth Realm cultivators liked to use. It was used to strengthen their spiritual power and speed up their cultivation speed. Every pill was expensive and could not be compared to ordinary medicinal pills. If it was so useful for returning Truth Realm cultivators, then it would be even more useful for Golden Core Realm cultivators. Originally, Xiaoping needed to spend a lot of resources to advance a small realm. These Earth Spirit pills were like charcoal in the snow. It could save him a lot of time to condense spiritual power. But these things are nothing. The most important thing is that we found a talisman on the leader of the Red Scarf Bandits, Dragonwood Talisman. The Green Ox's tone was very excited. Dragonwood Talisman? What is this? Xiaoping asked. This is a pass to open the Dragonwood Secret Realm. As long as you have the Dragonwood Talisman, you can enter the secret realm. The Green Ox said in a deep voice. Maybe Master still doesn't know the origin of the Dragonwood Secret Realm. It is an extremely mysterious secret realm that has existed since ancient times. It is said that it was left behind by an invincible saint and contains a big secret. In the past, countless people had entered the Dragonwood Secret Realm and obtained great fortunes, allowing them to soar to the heavens. It could be said that countless people would do anything to enter the secret realm. I don't know where the leader of the Red Scarf Bandits obtained this Dragonwood Talisman. You should know that such a talisman is priceless. Even the disciples of saint-level sects may not be able to obtain it. There is such a thing. Xiaoping looked at the Green Ox. Of course, because every 100 years, the Dragonwood Secret Realm will eject millions of Dragonwood talismans into the void and scattered all over the universe. Only those who are fated can find them. Those who are not fated cannot find them. In short, it depends on luck. The Green Ox said. I also heard about this. Corinne also said. It is said that the Dragonwood Secret Realm will open in a week. According to reliable information, the leader of the Red Scarf Bandits once entered the Dragonwood Secret Realm hundreds of years ago. At that time, he obtained great opportunities in the Dragonwood Secret Realm. It is estimated that the 9 heaven-growing soil and the crystal-fragrant rice seeds were obtained from the Dragonwood Secret Realm. That is why he built up a huge interstellar pirate clan and has not been defeated for hundreds of years. Master, you must go to this Dragonwood Secret Realm. It is said that the most precious treasure in this secret realm is the Dragonwood Source. It is known as a wood attribute treasure. If you can obtain it, it will definitely speed up the restoration of the Mountain River Pearl. It can even make the spirit field greatly evolve and become a true holy land of spirit herbs. The Green Ox said excitedly. Xiaoping touched his chin. Then where is this Dragonwood Secret Realm? Its entrance seems to be a planet in the Western Universe called Dragonwood Star. This time, we may need to go to the Western Universe. Chapter 1593. After thinking for a moment, Xiaoping decided to go to the Dragonwood secret realm. After all, it was a great opportunity, and there was a wood attribute treasure, like the Dragonwood source. He couldn't miss it. But there was still a week, so he wasn't in a hurry. He would first cultivate in seclusion for a few days, to raise his condition to the peak. Only then could he face the next series of challenges. While Xiaoping was cultivating, the news of him exterminating the Red Scarf Bandits quickly spread to the Eastern universe. At the same time, countless spies came to the World Head Star to dig out the truth behind this matter. After all, the Red Scarf Bandits that had been causing trouble for hundreds of years were exterminated. This was a huge matter that could shake the Eastern universe. As a result, the investigation of these spies revealed Xiaoping's true identity. It couldn't be hidden at all. This shocked many forces in the Eastern universe. This was especially so for the Five Elements sect, Lingyun sect, and the other saint-rank sects that were close to the Qianquan sect. Many disciples and elders turned pale with fright, almost not daring to believe this information. He just entered Qianquan sect for 2 years, and he has already reached the Golden Core realm. His cultivation speed is too fast. What kind of medicine did he take? Even a monstrous genius wouldn't be so terrifying. What secret does he have? It's fine if it's just his cultivation speed, but his combat strength is also terrifying. He can even kill a returning Truth Realm expert. This is too exaggerated and unbelievable. This is the potential of a saint. As long as he doesn't die, he will definitely become a saint. Why is the gap between people so big? Why aren't our disciples as outstanding as Xiaoping? It seems that we didn't supervise them enough. That's why they are always sloppy, and their cultivation is lagging behind. I remember that there are a few dangerous secret realms. Why don't we throw them in there to train? Maybe they can stimulate the potential of the direct disciples in the danger. Not bad, this idea is not bad. Let's do this. We have to spoil them too much. We have to be more ruthless. The elders of the various sects discussed animatedly. They were completely stimulated by the matter of Xiaoping advancing to the Golden Core realm, and even leaping levels to challenge and kill the Red Scarf Thief. All of them were unconvinced, as if they were injected with stimulants. They didn't believe that their disciples couldn't compare to the direct disciples of Qianquan sect. They all felt that they had to increase the intensity of training and stimulate the unlimited potential of the direct disciples. This decision also caused many disciples to howl in grief. They immediately hated Xiaoping, the instigator of all this. What the heck, the elders of the sect must have gone mad. To think that they would come up with a mission to send us to some savage beast secret realm. That place is inhabited by a large number of ancient savage beasts, and every single one of them is incomparably ferocious. They love to eat humans. Aren't we just going to be an additional meal for those savage beasts by heading to the savage beast secret realm? That means nothing at all. The savage beast secret realm might be dangerous, but it is still an ordinary world. There are forests, mountains, seas, and so on. As long as we find a place to hide, we won't be in any danger. But our sect's elder wants us to go to the legendary Black Prison secret realm to train. Fuck, that was the Black Prison mystic realm. A mystic realm that was like purgatory on Earth. There were volcanoes everywhere, and it was a desolate place with extremely high temperatures. Not even a single blade of grass could survive there. It's said that there are countless vicious criminals locked up in that place. Pretty boys like us entering that place is suicide. If we're caught, we won't even be able to protect our bodies. It's a fate worse than death. Why did the elders go crazy? Why did they suddenly create these training missions? Is there something wrong with their heads? It's all because of that Qianquan sect Xiaoping. Recently, that fellow created a huge piece of news. He exterminated the Red Scarf Bandits that had been wreaking havoc in the Eastern cosmos for many years. He killed a returning Origin Realm cultivator with a Golden Core cultivation and challenged someone of a higher cultivation realm. Isn't that so? When this matter spread out, many of the elders were agitated. They decided to strengthen the training for us, the true inheritors, so that we can catch up to that fellow and bring glory to the sect. Compete your head. That fellow has already challenged someone of a higher cultivation realm. His combat prowess is extremely formidable. Such a demonic genius has the bearing of a saint. Who can defeat him? Who can catch up to him? Why didn't the elders go and compete with that brat instead of finding trouble with us? Hehe, if you have the guts, say those words to the elders. Let's see if they don't kill you. Damn it, this Xia Ping is harming others and himself. He has nothing better to do all day, and he would create a huge piece of news at the slightest provocation to show that he is very awesome. This daddy here hates such outstanding disciples the most. He's always being dragged over to compete with others. Heavens, please send down a bolt of lightning to strike that fellow to death. Don't let him continue to be smug and harm people. Many disciples of the sect were filled with complaints because of this matter. They were forced to participate in the dangerous training missions. They hated Xia Ping to the core. If they had the chance to meet him, they couldn't wait to beat this bastard up. There were also many forces that hated Xia Ping to the core, because the Red Scarf Bandits and the major forces of the Eastern Cosmos had cooperation. They were entangled with each other endlessly. They colluded with each other and cooperated with many businesses. They became the spokesmen of these forces, the White Gloves. That was why they were able to roam freely in the Eastern Cosmos. But now that the Red Scarf Bandits were eliminated, many businesses suddenly disappeared, causing many forces to be in a mess. Damn Universe faction Xia Ping. He actually eliminated the Red Scarf Bandits. After they die, who will launder money for us and sell arms? It won't be easy to find a qualified agent. Also, the crystal rice is gone. This matter concerns the future of our clan's young members. Without a large source of crystal rice, how can we cultivate and evolve? Doesn't that bastard know that the Red Scarf Bandits still have forces like us? He actually dared to make a move against the Red Scarf Bandits. He is simply tired of living. That fellow should be hacked into pieces. Don't act rashly. He is a true inheritor of the Universe faction, the eldest disciple of the Dark North Saint. It won't be so easy to deal with this brat. If he wasn't the disciple of the Dark North Saint, I would have sent people to kill him long ago. Why would I wait until now? He acts recklessly just because he has a bit of status. No one taught him the rules of the Eastern Cosmos. Just wait, this matter isn't over. Don't think that you can do whatever you want just because you are the disciple of the Dark North Saint. There will be a time when this brat is unlucky. I won't let him off. Xia Ping? I've completely remembered him. Many forces gnashed their teeth and hated Xia Ping to the core. Because of the elimination of the Red Scarf Bandits, they were at a loss. Many businesses were greatly affected, but they also had misgivings about the force and identity behind Xia Ping, and didn't dare to take revenge. But even so, they still hated Xia Ping, this hateful shit-stirrer. If there was a chance, they wouldn't mind hitting him while he was down and adding oil to the fire. Chapter 1594. A few days later, in the space of the Mountain River Pearl. Phew, Xia Ping took a deep breath and opened his eyes, revealing an unfathomable light. It was as if there was chaos in the depths of his pupils, and there were endless stars spinning in the depths of his eyes. During this retreat, he swallowed a lot of Earth Spirit Dawn, and refined a large amount of Spirit Dawn, transforming them into boundless spiritual power. This greatly increased his spiritual power, and saved him at least 100 years of cultivation time. He had to admit that these Earth Spirit Dawn were worthy of being used by cultivators of the returning nature realm. The medicinal power of these Earth Spirit Dawn was extremely huge, far more than the Spirit Dawn that he had consumed before. When he consumed it, it immediately produced a vast amount of medicinal power. After a full 3 days and 3 nights, he was able to completely refine the medicinal power. Of course, he also gained a lot of benefits. At this moment, the Golden Dan in Xia Ping's body was also a bit bigger. The Yuan Shen inside the Golden Dan seemed to be more and more clear, faintly emitting a trace of the Yuan Shen. Of course, this retreat was not only to refine the Earth Spirit Dawn, but also to learn a powerful magical power from the Red Scarf Bandits. Call the wind and summon the rain. He had seen the power of the Call the Wind and Summon the Rain before. It was cast by Wuan, and the other 3 returning nature realm cultivators together. It exploded with endless terrifying power that contained the power to destroy the world. Therefore, he was also very interested in this magical power and hoped to learn it. Call the wind and summon the rain. Xia Ping formed a seal with both hands and immediately formed a magical talisman. It contained the 2 colors of yin and yang and slowly rotated, emitting a mysterious aura and communicating with the heaven and earth. When this magical power was cast, the color of the sky changed. Dark clouds gathered, covering a radius of 3,000 kilometers. The wind howled and ghosts cried. It was as if a hurricane was approaching, accompanied by violent weather. Walala, heavy rain fell from the sky like a scoop, submerging the area of 3,000 kilometers. It formed a flood that was rarely seen in 100 years, submerging fields, mountains and valleys. The wind howled, and the hurricane swept across like a storm giant, destroying everything in its path. Even the entire mountain was flipped over and flattened. Although it looked powerful, it was still far from the call the wind and summon the rain that Wuan and the others had cast. Because what he summoned was only ordinary rain and wind. It might have a miraculous effect on mortals, but against warriors, it was far from enough. Looks like I have to reach the returning nature realm in order to successfully cultivate this technique. Xia Ping clenched his fists. He also understood why the sacred art he displayed was so much weaker than Wuan and the rest. Because Wuan and the others were returning nature realm cultivators who had condensed their primordial spirits. Once he condensed his essence soul, he would be able to sense the power contained in the depths of the dimension. In the universe, there were many dimensional worlds. These worlds were hidden in the depths of the universe. Without condensing an essence soul, it was impossible to sense them. Some of these dimensional worlds were fiery dimensional worlds that contained boundless deviant flames. Some were lightning dimensional worlds that contained innumerable thunderbolts. And some were icy dimensional worlds that contained a world of ice and snow, with a freezing temperature of 300 million miles. The coldness was bone-piercing, and had even reached absolute zero. These were all dimensional worlds where life was extinct. However, martial artists who had condensed their primordial spirit could communicate with these dimensional worlds that contained special energy. They could even absorb these dimensional energies to enhance their own magical powers, and even condense their magic power to speed up their cultivation. However, some returning nature realm cultivators with weak essence souls could only communicate with shallow dimensional worlds. These dimensional energies were weak and could not unleash much power. Returning nature realm cultivators with powerful essence souls could communicate with even deeper dimensional worlds, allowing them to unleash terrifying power and even absorb these dimensional energies as their own. The summoning wind and summoning rain mystique allowed returning nature realm cultivators to communicate with the endless dimensional worlds and absorb these dimensional energies for their own use. They could then attack their enemies with devastating power. It could be said that this mystique could only be used by cultivators above the returning nature realm. In fact, the stronger one's soul, the more powerful this mystique would be. Xia Ping even felt that this mystique was tailor-made for him. Master, it's about time to head to the Western Universe and enter the Dragonwood secret realm. Just then, Azure Cow's voice rang out, reminding Xia Ping to pay attention to his schedule. All right. Xia Ping nodded. He also walked out of the Pearl of Mountain River and ended his seclusion. If he continued, he would most likely miss the opening of the Dragonwood secret realm. Master, Xia Ping just walked out of his seclusion room. Many people in the mansion looked at Xia Ping with reverence. They seemed to be even more fanatical and excited than before. He felt that it was very strange. After asking carefully, he found out that while he was in seclusion, the news of the Red Scarf Bandits' destruction had spread throughout the Eastern Universe, and his identity was naturally exposed. Everyone knew his true identity. He was the direct disciple of the Heaven and Earth sect, the eldest disciple of the Dark North Saint, Xia Ping. After knowing this news, many of the underworld forces of the World Head Planet submitted to him. They were no longer disloyal, and were instead extremely excited. because they followed such a big figure. Who could possibly be the existence of a future saint? It was equivalent to hugging a super big thigh. How could they not be willing? If their clan leaders knew of Xiaoping's true identity, Xiaoping wouldn't even need to do anything. They would all voluntarily surrender and become Xiaoping's #1 lackey. After all, their previous identity was just a gangster from an ordinary planet. How could it compare to the title of a future saint's subordinate? As long as they followed Xiaoping, they could do whatever they wanted in the 6 major star fields and bully others. Unfortunately, there was no medicine for regret in this world. Those people chose the wrong side, so they died. So that's how it is. Xiaoping was enlightened. He also knew the reason for the change in everyone's attitude. He didn't care that his identity was exposed. After all, he was the disciple of the Dark North Saint. No matter how monstrous the things he did, it was normal. Ordinary people might be suspicious and curious about his cultivation speed, but they definitely wouldn't dare to openly plot against him. Who asked him to have the support of a saint? Elder and the others have come before. Xiaoping found out that Yu Xiujuan and the others had come, but they were afraid of disturbing his cultivation, so they returned to Heaven and Earth Star. They also informed him that the sect's mission was considered completed, and he could return to Heaven and Earth Star at any time. And as the sect's mission was completed, Heaven and Earth Star could become Xiaoping's territory. It could be said that in the future, Heaven and Earth Star would be his personal territory. He didn't need to pay taxes to the sect, and had a high degree of autonomy. All of you managed the world head planet well. I'm going out for a while. Chapter 1595. The stars sailed in the Western universe, passing by many planets along the way. Xiaoping could also feel the vastness and mysteriousness of the universe. After 3 days of traveling, he knew how different the Western universe was. If the Eastern universe was considered a peaceful star region, the Southern universe was a barren star region, and the Western universe was a chaotic star region. Such chaos was no ordinary chaos. It was like a jumble of fish and dragons. There were so many races and factions involved that it was impossible to know where to start. It could be said that there were many races in the Western universe, far surpassing the other 3 universes. It could be said to be the demon's paradise. Moreover, not only were there many races in the Western universe, but the most chaotic thing was that they were at odds with each other, especially with their religions. Tragic wars often broke out. For example, the Angel clan was against the Demon clan, the Buddhist sect was against the Angel sect, and even the Luohan clan, the Sucking Blood clan, the Azura clan, the Rakshasa clan, the Yiksha clan, the Fairy clan, and the Flood Dragon clan were fighting for territories and resources. However, even though they were at odds with each other, this region could be considered the demon's base camp. Many famous demon races' holy lands were in the Western universe. However, due to the severe antagonism between them, they were extremely territorial. Basically, other than their own race and friendly races that had registered in their territory, outsiders were basically not allowed to enter the boundaries of these territories. Once one approached, one would be warned by these races. If one dared to continue approaching, one would be attacked and treated as the enemy of their race. They would be killed without mercy. In fact, the stars would receive many warning signals when they passed by each planet. If Xiaoping continued approaching, he would definitely be shot down by these planets' defense systems. The defense is too tight. Xiaoping also realized that almost every race in the Western universe occupied a star region. These star regions were connected with countless ancient planets with life, forming many ancient star map formations. These ancient planets with life operated according to the star map formation, mobilizing the power of the stars. They were connected and condensed into one. It was impossible for ordinary people to enter this star region, unless a saint took action and tore these star region formations apart. One could only enter the star region with the permission of these races. What a troublesome region! Xiaoping immediately sensed that the Western universe was not a universe region that welcomed humans. The races there were extremely xenophobic, especially some races that had grudges with humans. If those races saw humans, they wouldn't hesitate to attack, the kind that wouldn't rest until they were dead. Of course, not all places were extremely xenophobic. There were also many commercial planets in the Western cosmos. These places provided life forms of the various races to come to the Western cosmos to trade. Only such a place could allow so many life forms to enter. And Dragonwood Planet was such a commercial planet. Xiaoping, I suggest that you use the faceless mask to transform into a life form of the Western universe's races. This way, you can avoid a lot of trouble. If you are a human, you will definitely be targeted by many of the Western universe's races. Corinne suggested, Indeed, I can't walk around the Western universe as a human. Xiaoping nodded. The reason he came to the Dragonwood secret realm was to get his hands on some treasures, and he didn't want to become the target of everyone before he even got his hands on any. After another day, the star finally arrived at the Western universe's Dragonwood planet. Unlike the other galaxies that were occupied by other races, Dragonwood Planet had become an independent planet due to the existence of the Dragonwood secret realm. It was not under the jurisdiction of any race, and it was governed by the various races of the Western universe. Therefore, this planet was a lawless zone, and Xiaoping could easily enter the vicinity of this planet. However, he was not the only spaceship that appeared on Dragonwood Planet. Along the way, at least hundreds of thousands of spaceships appeared, flying from all over the universe and entering Dragonwood Planet. These spaceships were probably here for the Dragonwood secret realm that was about to open. Amazing, they actually transformed a planet into a city. Through the star's detection system, Xiaoping could see the internal situation of Dragonwood Planet. He was amazed to find that Dragonwood Planet had been transformed into a huge city. This city was divided into 360 regions, and each region was extremely huge. The streets were as wide as plains, and all kinds of tall buildings stood tall. Countless life forms lived in the city, going in and out, and business was flourishing. Swoosh! The star stopped at the port of Dragonwood Planet, and countless spaceships also landed here. Not far in front of the port, there was a huge and majestic city wall. There were many mysterious and complicated array formations set up on it, and they contained powerful might. Even Transcendence Realm cultivators would not dare to barge in casually. Many elite soldiers stood around the city wall. They were all powerful, and they were at least at the True Fire Realm. The captains were at the Golden Elixir Realm. The commander-level soldiers were at the Returning Nature Realm, and such power was enough to suppress a planet. These soldiers guarded the city gate, and they registered everyone who entered and left Dragonwood Planet. Register? Seems like I really have to change my appearance. Seeing this situation, Xiaoping frowned. He felt that this city was heavily guarded, and the soldiers were all races of the Western universe, such as the Devil race, the Angel race, and so on. There were basically no humans. If he encountered any trouble here, he would probably not be able to escape. After all, this was someone else's territory. At the thought of this, he immediately used the formless mask and instantly turned into a monk. He had a big bald head, a benevolent expression, and his hands were clasped together. He was completely a member of the Luohan tribe. He left the port, and he also put the star back into the Mountain River Pearl space. After all, he did not want to leave this spaceship at the port, in case he encountered any unnecessary trouble. Who are you? What's your name? Immediately tell us your identity and background, as well as your purpose of coming to Dragonwood Planet. Also, pay the city entrance fee before you can enter Dragonwood Planet. When Xiaoping approached the city gate, a 2-meter-tall bird-person soldier with a humanoid body, but a bird's head stood out, stopping Xiaoping from advancing. He shouted, "If you dare to hide anything, you will be killed without mercy." His bird eyes stared at Xiaoping with a murderous look. "I am Invincible Wu, an itinerant cultivator of the Luohan tribe. I came to Dragonwood Planet mainly to enter the Dragonwood mystic realm to train and experience the hardships of the masses. I hope you can do me a favor." Xiaoping clasped his hands together, looking benevolent. "What? Enter the Dragonwood Mystic Realm to train? Could it be that you have the spirit talisman of the Dragonwood Mystic Realm on you? The bird-person soldier's eyes gleamed, and he stared at Xia Ping. You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.